welcome back. Sorry for technical difficulties. We just learned our cameras can only record for 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So, where do we
First
leave
world
off?
problems.
So yeah, we're back. I was asking this question, and I would like the answer to that question from the both of you. But we'll start with John. So the question I had was, I remember having these conversations with Josh where we were talking about life goals and also, if what you ultimately what you're working towards is being the person you want to be as a child when you become a grown up, right? If your younger self was to meet you as you are now, what would be, I guess, the opinion that they had on you, and would they also be, how would they feel? And do you feel like you've met the expectation?
Well, here's the thing. As a kid, I was never really all that ambitious to do anything. I was kind of, if anything, my nature was the opposite of what I am now, which is like I just trying to just chill. But like when I was a kid, I was an asshole. I was a bad kid. 'Cause I remember in preschool, there was this kid that was like bugging me or something, and like I was just like, fuck off. Of course I didn't say fuck off, but no, I didn't like the kid. So what I did is I bit him on the cheeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have a lot of other stories like that, but I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
I think as long as I'm kind of still living, everything's good.
You've kind of met the expectations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like then you can't really be disappointed. You know.
For me, I feel like the curse of being someone like me. You're always disappointed because you look back at yourself like, man, I wanted to be this.
Yeah. I definitely have that issue as well.
I love how you're smiling saying that.
No, I do. I honestly, with the way I am right now, I have all these plans. I told you when I came into college, I said that to everybody. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna be the Black Mark Zuckerberg." I was like, "Oh my God!" By the time sophomore year
remember.
hits, I know. By the time sophomore year hits, I'm gonna like have discovered the next Facebook. We're gonna have our own, company. I'm gonna be a millionaire. My mom's gonna be proud.
That's
You
the
know?
thing. Like those things are like 1 in a billion, and I don't think like you should go
But here's
towards
the deal.
that
Here's the
by-
deal. You guys,
by thinking that,
because
because those just kind of it just happens.
I think that's a perspective that you probably don't have, because I was born overseas and then I came here as a teenager. And if you were born overseas and you've been there for more than 10 years, that pride, overconfidence in what you are and where you come from is like, people talk about Nigerian people being cocky. Have you ever met a person from the Ivory Coast? Ugh, But you know what I'm saying? It's also the same with any people from any person from any country. They have this pride and they have this kind of cockiness, because they're like, oh, where I come from, we're the best at whatever it is we do, right? And so for me, it's like I had this much confidence when I came to America. Right now, my confidence level is right here. But that comes from learning and like going through, trials and tribulations and failing over and over again, and, learning about myself and like becoming a little bit wiser than I was before. So I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, I think that's why I'm always disappointed, is
So-
because I have these high expectations for me.
So, I guess answer your own question. If your child self came to you,
I'd be like, you've done well.
okay.
You can make a living, but
Is
you're
that
not
what your
cool
child-
enough.
Yeah, so your child self would say, you're not cool
You're
enough.
not cool enough. Yeah. You can do more. Which, there's always a voice in my head that says you can do more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should tell them, well, you shouldn't want to be the Black Mark Zuckerberg nowadays.
I don't want to be the max. Here's the deal. With that one, we can talk about this later.
Yeah.
This whole, them putting him in a hot seat.
And just know, the next day after he told me that, I woke up and he was watching K-On! Just in his room.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's what I don't know. That was
yeah,
just so funny to me.
But the thing with the Mark Zuckerberg thing, people think they put him in the hot seat. It's him being questioned by a bunch of people who have no idea what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like we can sit here and talk with these people who have these ideas about what the world is gonna be like and what the future is gonna be like, who aren't in the industry, by the way. They know nothing about AI or software programming or hardware or anything like that. And they have these predictions, and you're sitting here and you're like, yeah, well, I'm in the industry. You have no idea where this is going or what's happening when you're pressing a button on your computer, right? So that's why a lot of people are like, oh, he's on the hot seat or whatever. No, it's like me having a conversation about technology with my mother. She has no idea what she's talking about, but she's going to ask me questions that I already kind of answered, or you know what I mean? So for me, that whole situation, that's kind of what it was. But to go back with the Mark Zuckerberg thing, it wasn't that I wanted to be him. It was that I wanted to be successful at a young age. You know what I mean? I'm 25. When I was in high school, I thought by the time I was 30, I'd be dead. You know? I thought when you turn 30, you're old. That's it. That's the end. You know? By that logic, I'm a failure.
I guess that answers the question of what
I think when you're 30, your life just starts.
Yeah. Well, I know that now, but
it's an interesting
then,
perspective
I didn't know.
shift. You know, from when you were little, you thought, "Oh man, you're 30 and you already have kids. Life's over."
Yeah. Well, also, when is the right time to have kids, right?
I feel like that's dependent on the person. You'll never know.
Like after your 20s, in
Some
society,
people might not even want to have kids.
some people might not even want to have kids. I think
I always teeter between whether I want kids or not.
Same.
I want them. I just don't want them when I don't have anything to bring.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, did you answer the question in terms of if your younger self was to meet you now, how would it feel about you? How would they feel about you?
Going back to the whole L project thing that I was talking about before, the technical difficulties. It's a webcomic that I've been working on, but it's just not coming out right in my envisionment. The whole thing about L project, there's a whole chapter or volume that I wrote where I remember I was obsessed with that question you asked me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Which is the same question. It's just that I guess my answer would be in there where Unix meets younger Unix in like his mind. And
Unix is Josh's representation.
It's my representation.
Yeah,
But I'd still
process.
say Unix is a better version of me. It seems like the child is never satisfied.
Okay.
He says you've done well, but is this where you want to stop?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the end of the road? There's always so much more.
You can only go up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because I guess for me now, a long time ago I didn't know hard work would equal more stuff. What is it?
Your headphones are bothering me so much.
Why?
Because they're lopsided.
I know. I know they're lopsided and...
Sorry.
You're good. John is very, what do you say? I don't know what you would say about it. Neat. That better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot you were saying something, and I literally had a question in my head, and I completely forgot.
That's all right. But
I think when it comes to that that question of expectations, I think I was gonna say if you compare our perspectives on life, right, John, you and me, right, you can tell our level of happiness. They correlate with the amount of expectations we have in life.
right.
And a lot of people have told me this. Oh my God.
Oh,
A lot of people have told me this. I just hit the microphone. A lot of people have told me this.
it's gonna fall. It's falling.
Oh my. Okay, so a lot of people have told me this. That sometimes if you expect too much out of life, or if you put too much pressure on yourself to the point of anxiety, you're not happy, right? Because there's always something else to attain. In John's case, he's alive, he's making a living, he's happy.
That's how my girlfriend is actually.
You know what I mean?
So,
I'm not
yeah.
putting words in your mouth here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but in our case, there's always something we're chasing.
Yeah.
There's always something. We talk about this all the time. It's when I get a car, my life will start. Okay, I have a car. When I get an apartment, my life will start. When I get a job, my life will start. I get that
Yeah.
new computer, these new shoes, this, that, and the other. Right? Every time we're
It's
always
just-
chasing something.
It's an insatiable appetite for wanting more out of life.
Like this week, what did you buy?
A ton of shit.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you have
I
plans on
understand.
buying more stuff?
Well, yeah.
Right? Every time we talk about something, I'm like, okay, I have to get. How long has it been since I've been trying to build a new PC?
Many, many years.
Okay, right? When I was going to get the car, my life was going to start. Right?
When we got a full-time job, our life would start.
Okay, well, has it started? No. And it's one of those things, like, for me, we are aware of it. It's never going away. There's always something else. And we're aware that that's what's making us the way we are, right? But we can't stop it.
Mm.
That's the thing. For me, I talk to a lot of people about this, and
That I feel like that's the reason why when we met, out of all the whole clique, I guess, we always seem to strike a similar chord because of, I guess, background and how our mind is. At that point in time.
absolutely. But yeah, people always tell us we're in a better position than a lot of people our age
Yeah.
because of being
We'll-
able to make a living after school, at least so soon after school.
But we've suffered for it.
Yeah,
A
absolutely. I think that's a whole nother episode now, isn't it? But
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me, my lifestyle, it's different. I just kind of, I don't know the word for it, but I just kind of take life as it comes.
You go with
If you
the
live,
flow.
you live. You die, you die.
Yeah.
It's life.
I definitely want to be more like you. That's for sure.
Him and my girlfriend are very similar.
Uh-huh.
Very similar in that sense of how life is. She says, because every time she talks to me, she's like, of course I complain to her sometimes because such a dramatic guy. That's not even a lie either. She just says you're just moving way too fast.
Right.
She looks at our lives. She just says you guys just move way too fast. You guys buy all this stuff. You guys keep saying that you're gonna do stuff and you never do it.
Well, that's kind of what happens in the 20s when you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The problem is,
it's
right,
experimental.
I agree. The problem with the 20s is you're supposed to be living this life, but it's also like the most exciting time. Right now, it doesn't feel like it. But you get to the 30s. When you're 30, right? This is who you're going to be for the rest of your life, correct?
For the most
Yeah.
For the most part. Well, the 30s are so close to the 40s that by the time you get there, you don't have much time to do everything you want to do. If you wanted to start a family by the time you were 30 and, do all these things, you don't have that much time because you have to really move with purpose, right? But also, when do you get to enjoy these things before you're officially the older guy? That's for
Yeah.
me in my head, right? That's coming when you hit 30. It's not there, but it's coming quicker than it was when you were 25.
I just think the issue, though, sometimes is we have to spend so much of our time studying and, trying to get to the position we're at now. We've wasted a lot of our time just sitting in a room thinking... Worrying about the next assignment, the next thing, and this goes on for 4 continuous years. And I can't even imagine how a doctor feels.
Yeah.
Doctors have to go to school for more than... what's your sister?
Nurse.
She's a nurse. How many years of school does she have? Just 4?
I don't know, but I think she's going back to school.
Exactly. Anything in the medical field, I can't even... You have to be devoted to, want to help people. That's why I find, if you're a doctor, that means you're very devoted. You're not in it for the money.
The money is nice.
The money's nice, but it's the moral of... what
But
you're
yeah,
trying to
it
do
gives
for
you. It's
humanity.
supposed to be fulfilling to you, so that's why
Yeah.
you're doing
Yeah,
it.
but I feel like within today, it's just very hard to hit the perfect 20. When you're 20, you do everything that you want to do before you become old.
yeah.
And when life, I guess, begins or ends for you.
I remember having conversations with people at work who are older than us and wiser than us. We've gone through things we haven't gone through yet. We always say, like, I remember asking advice. I was like, I just turned 25. What is something you wish you knew? And a lot of them are like, it's okay to let things go. And that's something I think we're all struggling with. When you're younger, it's a lot harder to let things go. But also, do everything you do. Whatever you want to do it now. You don't have that much time.
Yeah,
Like that.
just
Most
do
of the
it.
people were saying that. Whatever you want to do it now.
Just do it.
Before, before, because it's gonna go like that. And I remember people saying, especially when if you have kids, when you blink, it's over. And I can relate to that because my sister has kids and they're little people now.
They're little people.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't see the time fly.
It's like your niece.
Yeah.
She was like a baby. I remember I went to her birthday party. You remember that, right?
Was her first.
That was her first.
Yeah.
And I gave her like the big round stuffed animal.
Yeah.
And I like the next time I see her is like when me and Lily are there and she just walks in, she's smiling. I'm like, is that you? Did I give you that stuffed animal that? No way. She just
follows John around.
yeah.
No, not really.
Not anymore? No.
She enjoys John's company.
Yeah, but just a lot of things after talking to people is just a lot. That's kind of the reason why we're doing this podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
to get we're talking about so many projects we wanted to do and stuff. This is the one thing where we're like, all right, we're gonna do this. The week of we got together. We were like, okay, we're gonna do the test run, and then at the end of the week we bought all the equipment. 2 weeks later we're here, right?
And we said we're gonna do it. We're gonna start it.
Yeah,
We have to do something.
we have to do something. We've been talking about doing something for the last decade.
And now that we're here and we're old enough, like, I remember when me and John used to watch YouTubers and we're like, man, what if we did this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And now we're here. We have the equipment, and it's kind of interesting to think about now. When we looked around and John was taking pictures, he was like, we actually look really legit now. And I was thinking back then. I was thinking back to those times. It's kind of like, look how far we've come, and we've been telling ourselves just one more year, when we have all this stuff now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's not perfect.
no, it's not. Absolutely not. But we can afford it. Like,
It's better than a lot of.
I want
others.
I want to bring it back to that dream discussion.
Okay.
I feel like the trajectory that we decided to take, which that's something that nobody's told us. Personally, I think that's something that we've learned as we've gone, and we've kind of made a choice, right? Halfway through, a bachelor's in science is hard. Computer science is hard. There's a lot of times you wake up and you're like, why am I doing this?
Especially since when we came out of high school, I know you said coding was in your school. We
Yeah.
had no coding in our
No.
school.
Yeah,
Nothing
so
like that.
It's difficult. But one thing I remember is like, after a while, you realize like that this is a job, right? You're not always supposed to like your job because that's what puts food on the table. But it's good to have a job, which I think that's the road we decided to go, is to get a job that pays for what you want to do. You know, and every time I had a conversation with somebody who was a junior to me, I always said, you know what? Maybe you're this far up. You're pretty much almost done. Don't quit now, right? Especially if you don't know what you want to do. At least you can make a living while you're figuring things out and deciding what you want to do, right? But once you do that, it's on you to figure out what that thing is going to be.
That's definitely the path we chose. We talked about this too. I remember we
Yeah.
were sitting down, and I remember I said to myself, I think I said to you, I was like, I don't think I could program for the rest of my life. Like this isn't for me, but I can do it. And I remember you were like, well, this is to get your feet like grounded.
Yeah. We don't have rich parents. We got to make sure we're
Yeah.
taken care of somehow, right?
We could eat food.
We can eat
Yeah.
food.
There is a time in our life where, well, there's a time in my life at least where I ate cup ramen for 3 straight months
Yeah.
off the dollar store.
We'll have an episode about that.
Yes, we'll talk about that
the
later.
struggles that come up. But I think that one is an interesting episode in
Yeah.
itself. We should leave that.
We should leave that
Maybe it's on
for
there.
another time.
But
back-
back to the dream thing. I think that's, I'm not saying that's what everybody should do. I'm just saying, like, you got to be practical, especially because, like, people diss millennials and stuff because we're entitled. A lot of these people I don't think they actually know millennials. or people our age, you know, who are coming up, you know. But if you go to school, you meet a lot of hardworking young people who are making sacrifices to make things happen that aren't supposed to happen for them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it involved them having to sacrifice in order to get to a point where they can actually figure out what they want to do. Just because they don't always have that support, to be like, okay, I'm just gonna go out and do what I want to do right, or you know, if they don't want to, they don't know what they want to do, they don't have that like, oh, you know what, take a year off type of family,
Yeah.
you know. So when we talk about dreams, I think, you know, you hear inspirational people talk about, oh, don't defer and all that stuff, and like for me, it's like, okay, well, in my case, it made sense to defer them, you know.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you just can't drop. There's some people that are like, drop everything you're doing and just go for your dreams. I'm like, no, you gotta think about, dude. I have mouths to feed if I was a father, or I need to eat. I need somewhere to sleep. I need
Yeah.
to pay for that. I need to pay for the bills on the internet, and I need to pay for all the equipment that I want to do. Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, I mean,
That's how we got here. Anyway.
a lot of people don't understand, like, after the first year of school, a lot of us stayed on campus. We didn't go back home, right? I think the majority of our friends are like that. Like, my friends, you know Susan. Susan was just like that. She the year after freshman year, a bunch of us stayed on campus, so we got jobs on campus so we could stay on campus, because we all have various reasons not to go back home, you know, whatever the reasons may be. I'm not going to disclose people's personal business, but, you know, you have to make sacrifices in order to get what you want to get.
Right.
So I think that's also part of working towards your dream, is like realizing when you should sacrifice, but also when you should put practicality over, I don't know, what looks good
A good balance
on that path. Yeah. Because if you look at the people who were truly successful, the path wasn't a straight shot to the top. There were a lot of, you know, roadblocks on the road that they had to go around.
Yeah.
So it's important to be realistic
Yeah.
with your dreams.
It's a lot of hard work and a lot of luck.
Yeah. Oh,
lot
but
of
also
luck.
a lot of not letting up. A lot of not giving up.
I mean, it's kind of like sending in a ticket to a contest. Like, the more the more tickets you put in, like, the more chances that you're gonna hit that mark. And I feel like I feel like for music artists it's like that too, because that one song will make them successful.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, they're an overnight success," but it really isn't. They've been releasing music constantly until that one song makes it to some, I don't know, Snoop Dogg's phone, and he's like, "Oh wow, let me retweet this, and it's all amazing."
Yeah.
And then this all starts.
Good example, Logic, right? Logic is blowing up right now. He's been putting out music for the last 5 years, nonstop. A project every year, you know? Now he's big as hell, but, you know, before that, people didn't see it.
Talk about achieving your dreams.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like we're still on the come. That's why I feel like we're on the come up. It's just started,
Right.
and it's a little bit exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
Right.
You know?
So we're reaching up 1 minute before the alarm goes off. That means we have about 6 minutes. Anything else you guys want to say about?
I
Top
had
of
this
dreams?
observation about something, but I can't remember what it was. About like the hard work you have to put in before.
The hard work. John, you have anything to say?
Nothing like related to this,
Oh.
but yeah, you're breathing into the mic a lot, Ellie.
Am I? Oh
Yeah.
crap! I was trying. 'cause
I'm
I was-
so
I was-
paranoid about that.
I was stepping back a little, and I realized I wasn't speaking.
'Cause every
in, so
time-
now I'm in, but now
So when I look at Ellie, that's my time to breathe. I'm like, oh God, I can breathe again.
chocolate
Okay.
rain.
Chocolate rain.
Because there's a lot of like
something.
kind of just
Yeah, you can hear me
yeah.
probably all the time.
Yeah,
We got to do something about that. I guess we got to get used to it.
yeah. I think we're still getting.
I
used
just
to
have
that.
really bad nostrils right now because I have horrible allergies. So I apologize for any, just those sniffling and
Yeah,
snorting.
we should
of
probably
air.
stop sniffling though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to, but I'm trying my best not to. Oh, there we go.
There it is. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else to say, I'd say we'll take a brief break and then we'll get back to you guys.
All right.
All right.
Taking a break.
See you in a little bit.
Peace, peace.
Peace.
And now for something completely different.
Okay, welcome back, and we're down to our food section. Welcome to Josh's Weird Corner, where we eat weird shit.
So for this week, I brought the weird shit. This is what's known as a century egg, or in Cantonese, it's pei dan. And it's... hold on. Someone hand me the
Yeah,
plate.
handed it to him. Ooh. Ooh,
Good.
give me the egg.
We're good. So, if you can see, it's literally a black egg.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's basically created by preserving a regular egg, whether chicken or duck, through a mixture of clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls.
So you put this egg.
You put like a regular egg
Mm-hmm.
into just like a pot or like in the ground with a bunch of stuff.
Salts.
Inside of
Clay,
liquid
ash, salt,
or
quicklime, and rice. No, just like
dry stuff.
dry stuff.
Just dry stuff. You just put it in that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's usually preserved for a couple of weeks, sometimes a couple of months.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And it
That's
smells like a toenail.
Does it
It-
really?
No,
it
not
doesn't
that.
smell that good.
It doesn't smell that good, but like
Yeah, the yolk becomes like black.
Right. I can see that.
And it has a very like creamy consistency, almost like a soft boiled egg.
Uh-huh.
And the whites just kind of become this translucent color. Ellie's
Yeah.
never had this before.
I've
Josh
definitely
has.
never had.
He's
This is
definitely never
way
had this
out of my
before.
comfort zone. I usually
Do you want to eat one raw?
no. I think I want to eat it in
not
this.
not.
So alongside,
Let me have it the way you should have it.
So
and then
alongside,
we'll-
we have kanji or jok, and it's basically rice porridge, rice gruel, whatever. You just kind of throw rice and water into a bowl or into a pot, and you just boil that until the rice puffs up and
we do this.
doesn't become rice.
Sorry, not the. And we actually do this. And I used to have this in the mornings with like milk and sugar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's good,
Chuk.
man.
That's kind of like how chuk is sometimes in Korean. You know, it's since rice is such like a neutral flavor. Like you could it could either go savory or sweet, kind of like a crepe.
Yeah.
So we have a plain kanji and a kanji with the eggs and some shredded pork.
And we're about to try the ones with this, and then we could
Wait.
also make it in that. But essentially, we're probably gonna do this.
Here's
And
how it looks.
That's how the
Before you
egg
crack
looks like. You can put it up to the camera if you want. Here, give that to me. It's a little blurry, but it's like gray, has a little splotches on it. But yeah.
I mean,
And we have fried bread as well.
it's fried dough, yeah.
Fried
it
dough.
usually goes with the jok.
Uh-huh.
But what do you think of this?
I think it's interesting. I mean, here's the deal. It's not the weirdest thing I've seen. You know, kimchi is like something similar. Well, because you wait for something to kind of have a specific reaction over time. We do the same thing with fish. We have like this dried fermented fish that we put in our soup base a lot of the time to add flavor. It's not foreign to me. So, yeah. The only difference being that this is an egg, and eggs
Yeah.
are what they are
It's-
to a lot of us.
It's almost like a rotten egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
But I remember eating it in something like this, and it definitely enhances the flavor somehow.
Mhm.
It's interesting. I wouldn't eat it by itself. I haven't even tried that, but John has told me.
I would when it's cooked.
Okay, so are you gonna cook one for me?
I mean,
We should try
later-
boiling that one.
later on.
Yeah.
Usually you don't boil it. You
Yeah.
you can steam it.
How long does that take?
Can you fry
I
this
don't know, I
thing?
mean, you can fry it.
That's interesting.
I don't know. Just take a little piece of it.
So you fry it. You like take it and you fry it.
You can fry it. Yeah.
We'll fry one and then I'll eat one. I'm not eating that like that.
He's not eating it like that.
But
Gi-
in this,
give me
absolutely.
okay, just to make this interesting, give me one of those. Give me the knife.
The knife.
I'm gonna cut myself a piece and just try it out. So I'm
Oh,
gonna try this
Josh.
little small piece right here. It's very small.
Of the what would be the whites.
This would be the whites.
It shouldn't really taste like anything.
It doesn't taste like it's just gelatinous.
The yolk is where the flavor mainly
Right
is.
there.
Ugh.
As you can see that texture right there.
I'm looking at it. All right.
Now, I've never eaten this by itself. I don't know how good or bad it would be.
Let me know, I guess.
Okay.
I don't mind it that much.
Nothing. Tastes like nothing.
Okay. Cool.
Your
Wow.
turn.
No, I'm okay. Let's just eat that
Tastes
the
like
way
nothing.
it's meant to be eaten.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can
It's
try
kinda like-
the yolk.
It still tastes like yolk. It really does. Like it has that creamy like it has like that yolk flavor.
Now, which yolk are we talking? Are we talking about raw?
like a regular
or
a regular yolk.
like a boiled.
Like a boiled egg.
Okay.
It
okay.
literally tastes like that. It just looks different.
You guys are making me want boiled eggs. You can't boil this. What happens
This
if you
has
boil
a
this?
lot more flavor. Like it tastes better.
What I'm saying is, what happens if you decide to boil it?
Like with the shell?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think anything will
Yeah,
happen.
anything would happen. It's
You-
just cooked.
you
'Cause
wouldn't
it's,
cooked?
It's technically
Cooked. I still want to
nothing.
see what would
Like
happen.
physically,
Wow.
nothing changes about it if you cook it.
Really?
Yeah. It's
I'd like to
It's
see
black.
the difference between that and this. If this is cooked, if this is boiled, I mean,
Yeah, that would
you can try it.
we should try it. Yeah, we should totally try it.
But for now, let's try some of this.
Okay.
It smells
Sorry,
good.
I'm like lost in this. This is so like
It smells
interesting.
Really good. It really
So
smells
this
really
is not homemade yolk. This is like
good. We got it from
we-
like a
we bought it
restaurant.
from
Yeah,
or
the
this
store.
smells just like what I expected it to be.
It smells good.
It's boiled. It's
So,
boiled water.
usually,
boiled
like,
rice.
yolk from like the street. I don't know what else to call
Do
it.
they put salt in this? Or
Yes,
is
it's MSG
okay.
up the ass.
Interesting.
So it has a lot of flavor. Homemade yolk is usually flavorless.
Yeah, that's why I said we put milk and sugar in it because it's flavorless. Josh,
Hmm?
the camera.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, so there's a camera over there.
Huh.
Okay, guys, we'll be right back. Hold on a second.
All right. Welcome back. Sorry about that. We ran out of memory. As you can see, my Mac is just sitting here. The hard drive plugged in because we were, you know.
Had to dump a bunch of footage. Happens.
Truly living up to the name.
I know. I mean, you know,
A work in progress.
this was all like exactly expected. on the
So-
first.
We were in the middle of talking about. Wait, did you save the WAV file and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Because of the last audio thing.
Yeah.
So, what we're talking about is kanji
Kanji,
with the black eggs.
peidan.
Peidan.
Jok.
And we're about to eat the roast pork one. I already scooped one for Ellie.
It's cold, but it's
Probably
fine.
cold.
She put me on. That's good.
It's,
Do you actually want like a warmer portion? Here.
it's fine. He has an egg.
Yeah.
all that matters.
That's why I was saying like he has an egg.
Show the
already.
good people
I have an egg. Should I just put this in the microwave?
if you
And,
want.
all right. This is
Here, I could eat that. This is warm.
okay, Josh.
I'll just pour a little more in here. Yeah. All right, John. give you
Sean
this.
reaching over
We also have
some fried bread.
focus, whatever fried dough to go with it. Yao za guai.
How do you call that?
Yao za guai.
Yao Zhang Guai.
Yeah, it's cold. Whatever.
Yao is my uncle's name. All right.
Ooh, tastes
I
good.
need. Thank you.
All right. So, we have bread, beer.
Oh yeah. Let me get some of that bread. Some of that real.
Go for it.
So you just
Alright.
dip the bread in there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So much crackling noise.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's not as bad as the other one.
All right.
But let's try it. I would love to see what Ellie thinks.
I'm just gonna eat.
I love bread, so. Okay, so I expect this to taste great.
It's going to.
Oh my god. This bread.
It's fried dough.
It's the joke that I know.
It's really
did you,
good.
Did you eat
We-
the egg?
Oh yeah.
You gotta eat it with the egg, man.
All right, I'm gonna have a whole.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Should I break it? I'll break it.
It's good.
This is like a regular ass egg.
Right? It's like the black water I bought. You ever see that? It's like a water, but it's like all black. I don't know if you've ever seen it, John, but I know I bought it with Marlon, and you watched us drink it. And when when you're about to drink it, you think you're gonna drink like tar, but when you drink it, it's just water. I don't know.
I don't understand the point of that. By the way, is it just all marketing?
Yeah.
Like the boxed water.
The box water is like eco-friendly. I don't know what the black water point is.
It has more minerals in it or something.
Sure.
Without those. For all I know, they would just sprinkled like charcoal in it.
Charcoal.
No more charcoal.
By the way,
You're so fixated on charcoal.
we ate some steaks today. Did not go
Not
past.
gonna name the restaurant.
Yeah, but it was very bad. And when they say fire grilled, they really meant we're gonna like clean the grill with your steak, so it's filled with burnt bits and it just tastes disgustingly bitter.
Yeah, they would, I don't know why. We tipped them like more than people would ever tip.
The thing about Ellie is he usually just eats everything, and it's funny to see him like shave off these pieces because they're so burnt and he's so tired of tasting it. Like this guy eats cartilage, everything. Like when he eats a wing, it's clean. On the steak, no. Can't even eat the burnt bits, dude.
See, he didn't even question it when he saw that. They used this really expensive piece of meat to clean the grill with to give it back to me.
Who knows if it's expensive?
You know what?
For them, probably not.
Yeah, no, probably not.
So
Those
do you
are
want
really
to
good.
try the plain and putting our own egg in there?
Sure. It won't have the pork bits
No.
in there,
Nope.
but that's fine.
But you should be able to taste the egg more than
Okay.
that, because that's just been sitting in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll let you do your thing then.
Waiter Josh.
Here is the ladle. All right. Bring her up.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. Bam. All right. So here's a little bit of chook. You're a healthy growing boy. Need a little more in there.
For grandma, I'm full.
But Grandma, I'm full. Put an egg in there.
What time is it? Like midnight?
Should I put another egg in there?
Oh,
Just
that's
put
fine.
one.
Just put one.
Yeah.
Okay. Just break it up in there and, hack it to town.
You give me like a full bowl.
Yeah, man.
It's midnight, bro.
So?
I'd like to go to sleep.
Ellie, there is no sleep here. What are you talking about?
Sleep doesn't exist.
Sleep does not exist in this realm. Har har har.
Time doesn't exist anymore.
I just think the soup itself tastes really good. Or the chook.
It's because they seasoned it.
They seasoned it
I
a
gotta
lot.
make you guys taste that version of it that I have. That's sugar and milk.
It's good.
It's great.
I've had it before.
Did you eat the egg?
No,
I'll
we
try
were
that
talking.
too.
I've already tasted it. I don't know what the difference is gonna be.
You'll taste it, I feel.
There's no difference.
Really?
Well, okay, I tasted a lot more.
But it tastes like
the
an egg,
difference
right?
is the absence of pork. But the taste is the same.
Hmm. So guys, black egg.
God, I'm having so much
I mean-
trouble with this today.
I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think of the black egg, Ellie? What was your first impression just looking at it when we were cutting up in the kitchen?
It's not aesthetically pleasing, but what is that's, traditional. Honestly, they don't really care for the aesthetics.
There you go. John just ate one hole.
You know what I mean? Like traditional cuisine doesn't usually account for the way things look. They care more about taste. So I didn't care about that. I was more curious about how it's actually eaten on a day-to-day basis, on a daily basis.
Doesn't taste bad.
You know, you don't put it in the bread and eat it. You put it in this, which is great. I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, I would have this for breakfast.
Dough. So hard. I love it. I don't know why I like the dough.
I hope we don't seem bougie because we're drinking like beer and seltzer and
We're not bougie. We just try to keep our lives happy.
yeah.
I thought we had this before when we were at that.
We did. We did.
We
did.
sa-
I remember it now.
Yeah, now you remember.
When we
it.
went to the dim sum spot,
Yeah.
we
We
did
had
have
this.
it. That was
Yeah.
good. I
And that
remember
had
now.
the black eggs
I
in
remember
it.
that. It did have the black eggs in it.
Yeah,
I
It
didn't even
should.
care. I was just eating.
Yeah.
it tasted really good, and I always wanted it again, which is why I feel like I had this excuse for this.
Josh just used the podcast to get food.
I mean, it's really good.
You like scallion pancakes, right?
Yeah. Story about that. If anyone
Oh,
wants to say it while I'm eating.
I'll let John speak.
So the place where we went to buy the joke from, I can only, they only accepted card if it was $15 or more. So all I bought was the 2 jokes, which was like $12 or something. So she came over and it's like, oh, we can't accept card if it's not $15. So Josh just quickly looks at the menu, sees scallion pancakes. He looks at Ellie. He's like, "Oh, Ellie, you like scallion pancakes, right?"
And no one.
I didn't say anything.
And Ellie's face was like, "Wait, what?"
I was like, you're just putting words in my mouth. All right, fine.
And we just ordered the scallion pancakes.
I remember for a time you were obsessed with scallion pancakes. You were.
It was great. It's just, here's the deal. It wasn't an obsession. It was the fact that I was able to buy it in a box from the frozen section at the H Mart. That was the obsession for me. It wasn't the scallion pancake itself. It was that I was able to do that. You know what I mean? If I can buy I don't know, something that you're not supposed to get at the frozen section, that's awesome, right? Especially like a scallion. That's like the appetizer you get everywhere, you know? So I'm not obsessed with scallion pancakes. Just
You
the
ate
fact
them
that,
really fast.
yeah, because I needed a snack.
You needed like 6 snacks.
Hey, that's what happens when you're running every day. Yeah, you got to do that.
I remember this guy when he figured out the red bean pancakes, the frozen ones.
Oh yeah, those
We
are the
bought
best.
a pack of like, I don't even know how many. There's
I
a
stopped
lot.
doing that. by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
know, but like
It was like,
when this guy binge eats, right? Like when he has he was like, I want that taste in my mouth.
it was. By the way,
He drowns himself.
that's not binge eating. That's stress eating.
I guess.
And I stopped doing that because it's red bean paste, which means an hour later I'm ripping.
That was his reason why he did not.
I'm just farting every freaking
Yeah,
minute. I farted for like 10 hours straight almost. I'm pretty sure.
You know that moment you sit on the toilet and then you let one loose and then it just keeps going. It's like, and you're like, oh, okay. I wonder how
Yeah.
long this goes. And then by the end of it, you're like, wow, I never even need a poop. You know?
Yeah,
I just-
I just had a freaking.
You had a gas.
I had like a gas chamber in my stomach, the size of Alaska, that I had to let go of. So, yeah, that's why I don't eat red bean buns anymore.
Why Alaska?
Because Alaska's huge.
It is huge.
Isn't that the expression, the size of Alaska?
Size of Antarctica.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I've never heard of
I'm
that.
sure the size of whatever it is whatever you can insert whatever you want here is the expression.
It's the size of my penis.
I'm having so much trouble with the mic and the drinks.
You're like bashing on it. You're like, kung fu.
I just keep hitting it. I don't know why.
Tiger Strikes Panda.
But yeah,
Yeah.
would you recommend?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. You should definitely have this. This is great.
I think it's great. I've always thought it was great. It
I
was
just
an excuse
didn't
to eat it.
remember at a time when you guys.
Yeah,
Say.
I just wanted this rice porridge again because it tastes so good.
It's just because I was more fixated on the rice porridge at the time than the actual black eggs. When you guys were
Yeah.
saying that, I was like, really? All right, whatever.
I just
You know what I mean?
I just remember eating this like from the time I've known you. I think I've eaten this like 3 times now, including this. I forgot when the first time was,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I've hung out with you and your family for so long that it probably just happened since
Yeah.
then. And then I just remember eating it for the first time. I'm like, man, this stuff is really good. I'm like, and then I don't eat it for like another couple years until like that occasion. I'm just like, I really like this.
That's how I feel about some of the Filipino food stuff I've eaten, like hala.
But you can never find it or like get it anywhere else.
No, and that I had to hang out with friends from back home to get a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
The first time I ate tofu, my friend's aunt made it for us. Best tofu I've ever had anywhere, by the way. I would have it again.
I love tofu in like really long, like in a stew that's been cooked a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it picks like, so we have kimchi jjigae, and my grandma used to put like tofu in it, and we called it kimchi jjigae tofu, which means kimchi jjigae with tofu. So it would cook in that kimchi, very strong kimchi / pork broth for a long time, and the tofu will become like this concentrated like piece of awesome flavor. So
Wow.
I don't know how else to say
Why are
it.
you laughing at me? Because I'm breathing away from the mic.
No. It's,
Okay.
It's just me talking.
yeah.
Well, kimchi
I'm
jjigae
really
is pretty
weird.
good. Korean food's the shit. So, you don't have to convince me there. But yeah, this was great.
This
I
was really good.
definitely recommend.
It definitely looks like you shouldn't eat it, but it's definitely edible
Yeah,
and very good actually.
it's actually really good.
I think when I ate the yolk like just by itself, I was kind of surprised that like it still held like. I think what happened is you don't taste that yolk flavor, but like that richness is still there, which is interesting.
Here's the thing: if you just eat it like that, you'll taste something.
Yeah,
It's something. It's not. It's subtle.
Yeah.
The key is that it's subtle.
yeah,
It's not
very subtle.
overpowering.
It also depends on the egg, because I've had some that are like
strong.
really strong,
Right.
I guess like
and I've had
it's,
some that just taste like nothing.
I'm
so-
guessing some are like aged longer than the
Yeah.
others, or maybe different like bird.
different eggs.
Yeah.
I'm actually just more curious about to see now. This is very similar to like the egg that they put in your ramen. I actually want to know how they make those in comparison.
Ramen
to,
eggs? I can make those.
They're like soft boiled eggs.
They're soft boiled eggs and so in
No,
in
no,
soy
no, no,
sauce.
no. Some of them are. You can tell they've been like aged.
No,
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
no. Like I'm serious. They don't age.
No, I know that they do the soft boiled egg. I've been to places where they're like aged.
It's because of the soy sauce that it sits in. It's
Oh,
it's-
okay.
Is it because
It's
like
sodium.
Is the outside of the eggs like brownish?
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't really age that.
They don't age that.
It's cooked.
Oh,
like
okay.
it's like we do the same thing,
Korea does the same thing too.
but we use like vinegar.
That makes sense.
We have I don't know, I can't think of the name on the top of my head, but it's pretty much, imagine soy sauce, but like you boil it with big like chunks of beef and like hard boiled eggs. That's literally what it is. It's kind of like it's like a base broth in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and we eat it as a side dish, or we could put it in like a soup or something.
Interesting.
It's you've seen me bring it over before because my grandma would make it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the best thing ever. It's like better than. It's kind of like eating beef jerky, the beef chunks, but like 10 times better because soy sauce.
I'm also curious about. You guys have ever heard of the tea eggs? I don't know what culture they're from.
I've heard of
Yeah,
them.
what they do is they like boil an egg. They boil an egg. They crack the shell, then they drop it in tea for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's Filipino or if it's Japanese.
Apparently has like a very fragrant taste to it.
Yeah,
It
I would
needs
love
tea.
to be able to taste that, just because I feel like it's different. Every Asian culture, well, not including the Indian population, has very interesting take on eggs. You know, like Filipino people have balut and stuff, and
Oh yeah,
that's
balut eggs.
one thing I'm not touching.
That's
but-
something that I'll. If you give me one, I'll try to put it in my mouth.
Nope.
Like I think John would just go.
I
for
eat
it.
a lot of stuff.
Nope,
That is
that-
not
no.
something I'm doing.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
John, I don't know.
I don't-
From what I've seen you eat, you're usually the guy that's like, whatever.
Yeah, no, I would eat
But that is
everything too,
just-
but that's just no, man.
I'd try it. I'd try to try.
It's
it.
like it's a decomposing fetus
it's a cooked
carcass.
fetus.
It's not cooked.
Yeah, it's cooked. They steam them.
Oh, okay. How long are we talking about here?
I don't know, but they do cook it. I know that.
No, I'm not doing it. No offense. It's just I love Filipino cuisine. Balut is the one thing I'm not eating. And I've been lucky that I've never been at a friend's house where they were telling me like, "Oh, you gotta try this," you know. So
For me, if I was put in the family situation, everyone was watching me, I'd be like, gonna have to do it.
nah, I'm okay. I've known them long enough that I can be like, "Nah, I'm good." You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
So that's the point where you drop off.
that's the point. I would eat the Korean live squid before
The
I touch
live
the
squid tastes like squid.
Yeah, before I even do the
I mean, the only thing that's different about eating live squid is that it's just more dangerous because their suckers are live, so like they're gonna stick to the sides of your throat when you try to swallow it.
Mhm.
Like it's still moving, but it literally just tastes like seawater. That's all I can say. It tastes
Okay.
fresh. It's like an oyster.
He said it tastes fresh.
It tastes fresh, man. You just dip it in some like changgirong or some.
What is
shit.
changgirong?
Changgirong is the sesame. I don't know why. The sesame oil. We call that changgirong in
Mm.
Korean. I
Good.
probably don't pronounce things right in Korean.
Hey, it's more authentic than I would
Yeah.
say it. I think
How do you guys like this food section?
I like it. I think it's good. I think that we have the opportunity here to bring different things that
I kind of enjoy the cultural aspect.
Yeah,
To be quite honest.
absolutely.
Like I've never actually tried it by itself, so I thought it was interesting. I mean, I barely tried it, but I mean, it's cool.
This is one of those things where I'm like,
I mean-
a lot of the times I go places with you guys, we eat stuff. I don't know what's in it. I just eat. Tastes good, right? This is looking into what actually is in the food that we're eating,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So I know a little bit more about it. John's just gonna keep nodding, so just take that as a yes.
What is something you would love to see us eat and laugh at us for? I feel like you
Well,
would
that's a
have
recipe
another.
for disaster.
I don't know.
Do you have
There's-
anything, Ellie?
Actually, the one thing I wanted you to try when we were, like the bitter soup, you just didn't. You just ate that thing. It was easy for you.
What, the bitter soup?
Yeah.
What was that?
We call it nyang. It just had everything in it already. It's
What
not.
did- what did I said? What did it look like?
It's like it was like a lighter soup that my sister-in-law made.
I don't remember eating it.
Yeah, I remember you telling I was like, "Be careful, this is bitter," and you're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We have bitter soups too." And then you just ate that thing like it was nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing.
So
I don't know
Yeah.
what it was. I don't remember.
I know there are things that we have that you could probably
Have you ever tried
trouble, but I won't.
Bitter melon.
No, I haven't.
I heard that's I heard it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my dad loves it. I can't take it at all. Like I can drink bitter tea, no problem, but that bitter melon is brutal.
You need it. Man, that might be the next one.
A bitter melon.
We
Yeah.
might
Well-
die.
First with Feast did a segment on melons, and they had
Yeah.
all of the different kinds. They had the sour melon, the bitter melon, and then the watermelon, which was ultimately the winner, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we should try and do something with like fruits that we haven't had before.
Maybe. I mean, it's whatever we bring in next? I don't know why we named it after me. I guess because I started with the whole military meal ration.
Yeah. So
Which you,
I'm obsessed with
may or
those.
may not see.
yeah, in the test run of this segment, like a few weeks ago, we tried. Josh had us test a military
MRE.
an
meals
MRE
ready to eat.
meals ready to eat, and we prepared it at the table and tried it, and were pleasantly surprised at how good it was.
Yeah,
right,
how good it is. I guess how
For
they
what
eat in
it
the
is,
field.
yeah.
Yeah.
for what it is. Yeah,
We had what was it? It was like barbecue, shredded beef and barbecue sauce, and they gave us a tortilla and beans.
Yeah.
And stuff.
so it was a taco, but like almost like it had the ingredients of a burrito, but it was a taco.
a taco.
Taco.
A taco.
Sorry, I'm trying. I don't want to say like
Fancy.
taco, and then be
Taco.
like, people are gonna be like, "Yo, this guy's trying."
My
to be-
girlfriend's gonna call me up. You said taco wrong. She doesn't sound like that, and she's probably gonna slap me when she sees that. She's gonna be like, Josh, I'm gonna.
Your girlfriend
kill
sounds
you.
like an old Asian woman.
No, I don't know. I will say this though. My mom, when she first figured out, she's like, she's Mexican. The first thing that came out of my mom's mouth, oh, tacos. I'm just like,
I honestly, my mother would have had the exact
I
same.
shit you not. I wanted to slap my
reaction.
face, and my hand would go. You know that picture of like someone slapping their face, like face palming, but like it goes
It's in
right
their
through
brain?
their head.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah,
And my girlfriend just stood there, just yeah. I'm like, yeah.
foreign mothers have no filter.
Yeah.
which is kind of delightful, by the way.
My mom knows English, so very well. So she, that happened.
Yeah.
Well, we have only about like 26 seconds, so
All right. Well,
that was
6
really
seconds?
fun. That was
Yeah.
really fun. Probably 5 more minutes since this records to like 28.
yeah, but just to be safe, I think we're gonna end it here.
All right.
Um,
Thank you for attending Josh's corner of weird food that we eat that John brought this time. So, thanks.
See ya.
Ciao.
Are we recording already?
Yeah, we're both recording.
Okay, sweet. Welcome back. We are done with the dream talk now. We're gonna move on to another segment. While Josh is opening our beers, one at a time with his fancy beer opener.
Beer battle song.
What was that?
Beer butterfly knife thing.
Beer
John
butterfly
got it for me
knife.
for my birthday.
Right. John's got the
So,
coolest gifts.
Christmas.
Christmas. It was
Christmas.
Christmas, right?
Christmas.
Are these twist tops? Because I'll be very sad. Yes, they are.
Oh, that's the funniest thing. All right.
Wow.
All right, guys. Well, it's a
First
cool
podcast.
Saturday night. First podcast.
Well, second. It's really good. It's very fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's my favorite line, Kugel.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
But yeah. So, what was the question you had, Josh?
So, well, stemming from the whole how we worked really hard and we got all this equipment, how do you guys actually feel about the equipment we have, and how confident do you feel now?
So that's the thing. We did a test run 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were all just recording off of one Blue Yeti mic in the middle of the table. And it wasn't terrible, but it's nowhere like this.
It's kind of like we got a garage band together and we record everything. We couldn't touch the table or else it would be like bam, bam. So we got these mics and audio interface.
It was pretty much limiting. Like, I did not like the experience. We all had to lean over to make sure the thing was, recording properly.
We had to sit still just...
to not make noise. We're trying to not get things in the background picked up. I did not like that experience at all.
Your friend was here and she was just like,
Yeah, we kind of just like imprisoned her in the bedroom because
she can't make any noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not nice.
We were able to hear everything in the house. So...
Yeah. So Josh had the church thing to do the next day. I think because was it Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah.
It was Mother's Day weekend. I promised my mother I would go to church with her.
So while he was out, John and I after changing a tire,
Story from
Oh
story
my
of
God.
another time. We came back and kind of just decided to like, you know what would it take for us to have
Like
a,
we rewatched what we had,
yeah,
and then I looked up like how much does a mixer cost? Because that's the most expensive single thing
would be a
in
mixer.
in this gear list. And honestly, it cost as much as a Yeti. So I just thought, what if we returned the Yeti, use that money to buy a mixer, and then just get everything else?
Yeah. Or like for each person, we were like, oh, each person just gets a cheap microphone. We can plug it into the the mixer, and then we just go from there. And then that turned into, all right, well, microphones are really cheap. Oh my God, we didn't notice how cheap they were. All right, how about what if we just want microphone stands? Honestly, that went down the list. What if we just want microphone stands?
What is it?
That camera.
What happened? Is it cutting
Ellie.
me off?
You're nowhere in the frame.
Oh
Because
God.
I think Josh kicked it or something.
Sorry for that. Is he in there now? Does it look good?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm okay.
good.
I'm
Is
in
my
there.
forehead huge?
Oh my. Yeah, your side.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Sorry
but
about that,
so yeah, we went from looking at cheap microphones, to
For a
being
cheap
like
microphone, it sounds
it sounds
good.
crisp.
it
Yeah,
sounds better than anything we've ever had.
yeah.
yeah.
And then I remember being like, okay, I don't want to hear the table because that was the biggest issue. Is like, we have drinks. I don't want to be like, I can't put anything on the table. So like, oh, how much would it cost to have just one microphone stand that's on the table? Okay, that's really cheap. Okay, let's look at what if we get a boom one. And then the ones we found on Amazon were not as cheap as we wanted them to be.
Yeah, there was like a 2-pack for like 30 something,
Yeah, which
which
was
was like
kind
the
of
best deal they had.
yeah. We were like, no, we're not doing that. So I was like, oh, let's look at eBay, and then we found a pack of 4 for the same price,
About
which was pretty awesome. And then after that, it was like little things like the cables, and then the lights that you can't see behind the cameras. We already had the cameras because we each take photos as a hobby and make videos as a hobby. So we just needed lights and microphones, and the mixer we pretty much already bought because we were just gonna return the Yeti. So all we had to do was buy all the extra stuff because we already bought the mixer pretty much,
Yeah.
right? And just to put things in perspective, the blue Yeti microphone was what, $100 that we all pitched in to get. The mixer is the exact same price, and then when we added all of the costs for everything else and divided it between ourselves, it was about what, like $60 a person for
Yeah.
all of the equipment, not including the mixer, which we already purchased.
It was less than that.
Yeah, so
It was less than that, right?
essentially for another.
Well,
like,
yeah, no, it wasn't $60. It was $40.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, we spent $70 a person on all of this equipment.
pretty much. For an extra $30, we just get a whole package.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Way better.
way
production.
better
Just
for
the-
cheap.
Just hearing this audio quality compared to what we had for the Yeti, where we thought we can just have, like I know it records in a bi-directional kind of way, but it just sounded like it just picked up everything.
Yeah.
It took
that was
us
the issue.
an hour and a half just to set up that, right? Just to decide on
And even
a
listening
setting.
to the audio for that, it was just everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you could hear everything.
It was so echoey.
If
didn't
I
like
got
it.
up from the chair and you heard my knees crack, it'd be like, oh, okay, you can hear that.
Yeah. That was. This is so much better.
This one we can control many levels. We can do stuff to make it so that you guys can hear us, and hopefully not the air conditioning's in the back. So
Yeah.
it
So
is very hot in here.
yeah, we live on the second floor. So
For the gear, this gear is heavenly.
yeah,
It-
but
Can I just say it's, I think it's super amazing how cheap everything is, and just
I was gonna say that.
it's just it works so much better than most things we've ever had. And
Yeah.
the thing with
Yeah.
me and John is we've been always messing around with I guess microphones or headphones or I guess audio equipment, and I know you even have a DAC. I don't know what
Yeah.
those usually
I have
do.
an external DAC amp combo.
We've always been we've always been like thinking about this stuff and thinking maybe this stuff would cost a lot, but it was super cheap.
Actually looking into it, that's what blew my mind the most is the fact that we could get all of this stuff for, well, it's relative, but for all of this stuff for pretty much $70.
Yeah,
Yeah, like for me, I always kind of knew, this stuff existed, but like with the Yeti, it's just like just plug and play. It's
Yeah.
easy.
yeah.
I never really thought. Now I'm doing it too. I never really thought that we could, the Yeti and the mixer were the same price. That really like it didn't connect in my head, so it was like never a thought to me until we looked it up.
I mean, that's why I think this is cool as a project, just because we can bounce off of each other and kind of share perspective other people don't have. Like, oh, you know what? What if the mixer is the same? Because that was the question. It was like, what if the mixer is the same price as the Yeti? Okay, well, we returned the Yeti. Exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it just didn't make sense to get a mixer without everything else.
Does recording with XLR actually sound this good most of the time? Doesn't matter.
Excuse me. I don't know.
I think
I've never used an XLR cable. for
Usually it
recording.
is better than USB mics.
Yeah.
USB mics tend to like pick up everything.
Weird
no matter what.
artifacts. It's like a weird in the background.
Yeah, I
It's-
think
It's
that
mainly
that's
like interference. I
Yeah.
think.
yeah. But this is sole purpose. It's a single purpose, auxiliary.
I
if
just
you
never thought it
s-
would be this easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what blew my
It's
mind
so
even more?
close to plug and play.
It's yes, but also how quickly John picked up using the mixer.
Oh yeah.
It's that's how intuitive is the mixer. Very right.
Yeah, like I watched one video on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, I pretty much know how to set everything up.
Wow.
Go. So,
Yeah.
props to don't know his name, but maybe I'll link him
Props
in the
to
description.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Even though it's dying.
I think that's one of those things too. Like, it's so much easier not to learn things. Our generation for sure, because like everything that you're looking to learn is on the internet in some way or another.
The first thing I do for reviews is I go to YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for anything, I go to YouTube
Mhm.
before like Googling it.
Because they'll physically show you the object. They will show them touching it. You kind of get an idea. I wanted to ask you guys, like, what do you guys branching off of this? What do you guys think of like technology now? And like, is it useful? Do you see a good side or a bad side to it? What's your take on it? Because
I
I mean,
think
we're
it's
all
great.
tech heads,
Yeah, I think it's great.
but do
I
you?
think we're on our way to the future. I don't know that we're there yet. In comparison to like 20 years ago, we're
Yeah.
pretty close. But I think there's like the one breakthrough. Because honestly, let me tell you this: in the last 50 years, we haven't made a breakthrough.
Like,
Like
we didn't.
we've improved on the already existing technology. What we did is refine all of the tools that we already had available, and we're refining them even more every day. In the tech community and in the tech.
There's gonna be a plateau at some point, though.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for the thing that's going to break the cycle.
Right.
So we're gonna optimize what we have until we can no longer optimize it, which I would say we're about 10 years from there.
Yeah.
Actually, probably about 5 to 7 years from when we're like, okay, how
Until
much
we're in the
optimization
matrix.
can we do?
We're in the matrix.
You know, like how much optimization can we do until we're like, okay, well, we've hit this plateau.
we are cyborgs.
And now we're looking for what the next thing is. But that's very broad to say.
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
that in terms of technology, we're at a really good point. Like, I'm happy that we're alive to see this point in technology, to witness this
Okay.
point in technology, because we're already seeing self-driving cars, commercial self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Which if you know how software works, is huge.
Yeah.
Just the advancements we've made with AI, which, by the way, for those of you who are panicking, they're not taking over the
They
planet.
can't take over. The
All right, because right now they're mostly event driven, which means something has to happen for them to do something.
Coming from a
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, coming from our programming backgrounds and knowing how these things kind of work, although a program can learn, it's so rudimentary. It requires a lot of data, but it's not a yeah. It's not a. I was confused what you're doing. It's nowhere near where someday an AI is gonna wake and be like, "Are you my father? Where did I come from?"
I mean,
does this unit have a soul?
I mean,
Right.
you know, there maybe there's a research unit in Google that's doing
I mean,
something
remember
like that, that
when
we don't know.
Google released that, like, I forgot that program, but they released her to the internet, and then all of a sudden, like a week later, she's like a neo-Nazi, like.
Yeah, because
Do you
it's
remember
all
this?
it's
Yeah.
all
I do remember
event driven. It's all taking in data and processing it in a specified
In a-
pattern. The thing with the patterns is that what makes AI different from every other computer program is that it can build on existing protocols in a way that other programs don't. So it improves the way that it does things, but there's still some pattern to it.
Right. That I wanted to get into patterns because even us as humans, we do have patterns on how we act and behave, and there is patterns. Wow. Okay. There are patterns in nature and what like organic beings do because it's structured. It gives us a base to come off of. But us ourselves, to make a self-aware, I guess, AI, we don't exactly have a structured pattern. I don't- Because when we program these things, it's structured off a pattern that like it's gonna do this and that, but it's so again rudimentary, and it's rigid.
Actually, wait. Let me correct what we were just saying earlier. So, a AI can do damage. There's no doubt about that. I
Yes.
think that there's something that we might not be highlighting.
Look at
AI
YouTube.
can do damage in the worst ways. Okay, because it's learning and it's doing something in you know. I think the thing that most people are afraid of is AI becoming self-aware. Okay, and as of now, as far as I know,
Mhm.
in the community, I don't think that's something that's happening
No.
because
I don't think it's anything's going to happen in our lifetime.
I mean it might
Yes.
happen in our lifetime, maybe towards the end. You know what I mean?
If you can artificially copy, I guess,
Consciousness,
consciousness, yes,
yeah,
that
because that's what's dangerous. It's the
Yeah.
self-awareness.
I
Because
guess
then
you would call it
the behavior being taught is something that is unpredictable. You know, in the case of that AI that was on Twitter or whatever,
Yeah.
the behavior was still predictable because it was based on information that it was
Yeah.
processing, right?
Yeah.
But that's not if that's the fear. If a program becomes self-aware, then that becomes unpredictable because
Yeah.
it's doing stuff for itself.
When we watch the H3 podcast, I see Ethan talking a lot about how like, oh, it's gonna control the way we see things, blah blah blah. It's going. The thing is, it's not gonna happen because it's not built like that. You know what I'm saying?
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, but it's just features that they add in where it listens to you and you say, oh, hey, I want cat food. And Facebook's going to post ads on cat food. Like, it's not going to be that bad.
That's like an if then thing.
Yeah.
It's like let me look at what their patterns on the internet and match it to,
privacy-wise,
you know.
definitely an issue.
Obviously,
It's like
It's
still
definitely
very
an issue.
early in its life stage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Question about, I guess, tech and now getting into, like, life in general. Let me see. We got, like, 8 minutes. When I was talking about consciousness and how you have to, if we can copy a consciousness, where is what do you think a soul is? Is that your just consciousness? Or is it, what gives a soul, I guess?
I think if I was able to answer that question,
Yes.
I'd be able to answer any question.
Yeah,
about
I
life.
guess, yeah. I guess you,
What is a soul? I mean, a soul ultimately is what is a being that's aware, right?
Yeah.
So like,
you look in the mirror and you know that's you.
I mean, if you don't believe in souls, right? Technically, we are our brains,
Yeah.
right? I'm talking to the brain, not you. You
Mhm.
just happen to have a face on that.
We just have a
brain.
shell on this brain.
Right. So Yeah, that would be answering the question of life, which
Yeah,
I can't give
yeah.
you. But I can tell you this. I think that a lot of the systems we have in place now are mimicking the way that brain works. There's a lot of research being done there. I think that's ultimately like
Neuroscience.
yeah, I think that like AIs are like we use neural networks to train them to do
Yep.
things. That's kind of similar to how brain works and stuff. I think that's a good step towards where we want.
Don't worry, neural networks does not mean that they're going to become self-aware.
No, not as of now anyway.
Yeah.
Unless tomorrow somebody
It's a-
discovers
It's
something.
a giant-ass database or a tree.
It's pretty much a tree.
Huge-ass tree.
And with software on top of it that can determine
Yeah.
things and derive conclusions based on relationships.
By the way, just going to say this right now to everyone. No one has developed true randomness yet.
No, nobody has.
Exactly, which is
There's
why
some
it
pattern
can't-
to. Well, I think it's random enough that the human.
It's fooled.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah.
fooled by it, but it's
because it's very
still-
complex. But yeah,
It's
no.
still not true
100%.
random.
Then again, what is random? You know what I'm saying?
Random is something that I guess organic beings have the ability to do.
Like like flipping a coin.
Yeah. Well, that's probability.
Yeah. Even when you say no, I agree. But even when you say, well, if you think about randomness, there's a level of randomness that could still be calculated.
Yeah. I
So this is all probability. But I think, what was I talking about? Like flipping a coin, for example, when you ask, Google to flip a coin for you,
guess. Right.
there's still a level of randomness. There's still a level of predictability, but like that you can predict it. But it's only how much. How much can you predict that? Like, and what would you want to? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm just saying, like, I think the level of predictability. Wow, the level of unpredictability. Wow, I cannot say that word.
Unpredictability.
Thank you, Josh. English is not my first language. That level is good enough on the internet and in technology now that I don't think it matters.
You should just start speaking French one day. We should all just be speaking our native tongue of some sort. And everyone would be like, what the hell? That'd be great.
Here, back to kind of like what is a soul and like consciousness and whatever. It really sucks that you guys are not watching Steins Gate Zero, because that is a plot line.
Hey,
That.
here's
Oh,
the
man.
deal. I will watch. I've been telling you I was going to watch Steingate for 6 years now. I'm going to get on it. So we
Chicken
can have a
tenders.
talk about it.
Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders?
Don't watch the dub.
No,
don't-
I'm not going to do that.
Don't
What
watch
would
the
you...
dub.
You've known me long enough, right? The
Yeah.
only dub version of anime I've ever watched is when I was younger. I was in a French-speaking country, and I watched the entire Hunter x Hunter, the old anime in French because it was on TV. Like
Ro-
I had no choice about
I
from
remember
that.
he put on Ranma at our old place.
It's
in
funnier
French.
in French.
In French.
I think Ranma is funnier in French. Seriously,
And these guys sound like they're like,
it's
I
so
don't Fran-
funny.
There are shows that are
yeah,
funnier in English.
Yeah,
Better in English.
ghost stories.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, like
Definitely funny.
Maison Ikoku, which is in French it's called Juliette Je t'aime. It's a romance about like this guy who falls in love with his house attendant. It's about
Right.
the same people who made Ranma, by the way, and that's funnier in French too because the expressions are hilarious. English, eh.
It's like Bakano. I think might be better in English,
Right.
just because like it's based in like European, so everyone has an accent instead of just they all speak Japanese.
We have about 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes left.
3.5 minutes. Any wrap up on that? On what we just talked about? Anything
about-
good to the order?
Mainly for the first question that I asked, what do we think of our gear? I definitely love it.
I love it. I think if anything, we have to buy like 1 or 2 things to tweak the setup, but
We
I
also
like it.
need to learn more about how we can, better use this stuff.
Yeah, it's a learning process. This is first episode, right? I think
Mhm.
by episode 10, we'll see a considerable amount of improvement.
Definitely.
Episode 100, it'll be a lot more.
I definitely feel how much more
Consistent.
comfortable we are.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
absolutely.
as like just having a conversation, because I feel like the first time was just super awkward.
yeah,
Just hey,
but also like that's what we got the gear. That other gear sucked. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
the gear did suck.
Yeah.
We need to make merch for ourselves so we all have mugs that says like, this is the work in progress.
1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And 1,000. If we get a 1,000 subscribers, like I assume within 6 months and a year, we'll get a 1,000 subscribers.
All right. That's
Yeah.
a milestone, and we'll sell it
That
to
would
you
be
guys.
cool. That would be cool. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess we'll be back.
I guess we'll be back.
We'll take another short break, and we'll be back with another topic.
All right. See.
All right. Thank you.
Peace, peace. Welcome back. Welcome back to work in progress.
Yeah, the podcast.
The podcast. We're gonna try to discuss what we just saw tonight. This morning. Actually,
This morning into this afternoon.
Yeah.
yeah, we watched Han Solo, or just Solo, and then we also watched Deadpool 2. I know it's a little late to do Deadpool 2, but might as well do it.
I mean, we wanted to watch them both at the same time, right? So,
Side note, this is the next day after our first recording. That's why
well,
we're all in different
Yeah,
shirts.
we're in different clothing right now.
And the cameras might be
It's very
slightly
late,
different, but
me and Ellie are very tired, which
Yeah.
is why we have coffee. So don't
Yeah.
mind us chewing and everything.
I think
so
that's a good way to go about this,
Yeah.
because with the people who are listening and not watching, we're all wearing different shirts right now, so we just had to make sure that we told the people why.
yeah. So we watched Deadpool 2 first.
Right.
What did you think of Deadpool 2?
It's so much to process. It's
Yeah.
a great movie, right? And I totally understand people saying that the movie is better than the first one. Although I still have a soft spot for the first one, I don't know which I prefer at the moment.
For me, I think it is better than the first one, just because this movie sets up kind of a lot more
Hmm.
of what this franchise could be.
Right. Yeah, because now it's Deadpool and Cable.
Yeah, because like they had X-Men in the first one, but they had Colossus and
Yeah. Actually, wait. Before we continue, spoilers are ahead, guys. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to be,
Spoiler alert.
if you don't want to hear the spoilers, just don't listen or watch.
yeah. So in the first movie, they had the X-Men, but it was like 2 X-Men, and we weren't really sure. Oh, is this the same universe? Is it not? Blah,
Right.
Blah blah blah. Is this just their own X-Men? But no,
This
they
is-
literally just dropped.
Are you guys
the new
did you-
X-Men
did
team
you
in the
see it?
background?
Did you see that cameo?
Yeah, I
That
saw
was
it.
insane.
That was crazy.
When I thought I was like dreaming when I saw he was like, oh man, I thought he was gonna give us a big big X-Men guy, and then you see like everybody
You
from
see,
the
like,
crew
the main
All of them.
cast
sitting
of
in the
X-Men.
in the freaking room.
They're just like, nope.
Nope, we're not part of this.
That
right
was
now.
so funny. That was
Yeah.
so funny for me. That was my favorite part of the entire movie, by the way. Just the cameos. Brad Pitt was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
Brad
As
Pitt was-
Vanisher.
yeah, he was there.
I mean, you can tell they definitely had a lot
Random.
more money.
They had a lot more fun with this one.
Yeah.
I feel like there was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
again, there was a lot that happened and a lot to process.
But that's the point of Deadpool, right? I feel like the point of Deadpool is you just have to have fun with the movie. Otherwise, it's not a good
Yeah, it's
Deadpool
like the comedy
movie.
was good, but it wasn't like too much.
Yeah. It was, Ryan Reynolds his sole purpose on this planet was to make Deadpool. Because his humor, his brand of humor is Deadpool. Like, do you understand? I don't think anybody could do this, the job he's doing on this. Like, the way he's doing it. I don't think anybody else could have done it better than he's doing it
It's
right
better
now.
than Green Lantern.
For sure. Oh, and the end was
Yeah.
the best.
That was great.
Yeah.
I just came back from the bathroom at that point, but I saw that one moment where he's like looking at the script. It's like, this is gonna change. This is the big thing. I'm gonna change it now. And he shoots himself.
Yeah.
That was great.
definitely.
That was really funny.
What is the thing that surprised you guys the most about the movie?
There was a lot. Like, it's mainly the X-Men thing. Like, there was a lot more X-Men tie-in than I thought there would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
Like
about you?
Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut.
Yeah.
That was.
I wasn't expecting to see the Juggernaut.
He was
honestly.
in earlier X-Men movies, correct?
He was in like X-Men 3,
Yeah.
but it was it was different. Like the way they did him was different. Like he was not as big as this Juggernaut.
He was not
Right.
as big, and he wasn't like, I don't know, his
But they
comic book.
Yeah, but they still kind of referenced it as like, oh, why do you have that helmet? Oh, it's to stop
Yeah,
my
yeah,
brother
yeah.
from reading my mind.
Mm-hmm.
His brother being Professor X.
Yeah. Who I did not know that because I'd never read
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah, I was never really into the X-Men universe, so that was pretty interesting to know.
Yeah, for me, my X-Men, what I know from it is from the animation.
It's from the
series.
animation series on
Yeah.
Cartoon Network, right? That's the only my only knowledge of it, and watching the movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just have a vague knowledge of it.
Yeah, it's not like Batman, you know.
I do like the intro where he just has like this. I'm Batman. He has like this weird little what do you call it? It was just like a Logan from the
Yeah.
movie. It just starts
Yeah.
running and you press the stick that he stabbed on. It's
That
like-
was just harsh. That was almost
That was
like a
just funny.
diss for me. It was funny, but it was
That
like
was fantastic.
it was like, oh man, this is yeah.
There's just a lot of things packed in there. I feel like if we rewatched it, we would see definitely more things.
It's definitely one of those movies you rewatch. I know I didn't catch half the Easter eggs in
yeah,
that
because
one.
there was
for
just
sure.
so much stuff in there.
Yeah,
Did a good job of
The
it.
pop culture references were spot on.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
very meta.
I think there's one thing that I don't know if I'm supposed to believe the end in that movie. So after the resolution, right?
All right.
And they do a little bit of credits and then they go back. We go back and the girls are fixing the machine
Yeah.
for him.
Get
Now,
this
are we
time machine
supposed to be? Are we supposed to believe that's actually part of the movie, or is that just to make us laugh at the end of the movie?
I think that's actually like canon. Like I
Mhm.
think if there's a Deadpool 3,
she'll be
Morena Baccarin will be.
will be
Yeah,
in it?
that.
she'll be back.
Okay.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening. This is Deadpool. This is not,
They
this
can
is
do
not the
whatever
Dark
they
Knight.
want
They can
with
do
it,
whatever they
yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that anything that has that kind of humor and like universe, they kind of just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
It's fun to do it that way anyway.
Yeah.
It's very unpredictable.
Absolutely. And he got what's his name to curse, which was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mother
The
Russia.
the only Russian character I love, Colossus.
That was funny.
So
He stick the electrical wire right up his ass.
right? Didn't they?
And
They
then
just
they threw him in the water, and in the end he's still being electrocuted in the water.
they give him an electrical enema.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Yeah.
he's like climbing out in the end.
Yeah, he's climbing out like slowly, but
That was just brutal.
that was brutal. The kid's kind of funny.
The
Like,
kid was funny.
He's like that
Yeah,
14-year-old.
what did you think of the plot?
okay,
of
the movie.
did not see it coming. It's a funny way to attack family,
Mm-hmm.
because the Fast and the Furious have been doing it for
Yeah.
10 years and they
Yeah.
failed miserably. The only thing they've managed to do is mention my family is every other sentence. They attacked the subject in a
My arm.
very unique way, but it didn't end with him having a child, which is great. This
Right.
guy should not be a father. But, I loved it. The kid was great.
I just want to mention one scene. The part with the feet growing back was hilarious.
Okay. By the way, I turned to you, and what did I say? You watch Rick and Morty.
I do not.
Oh my God! There's in Rick and Morty. They have this thing that's very popular. It's very Rick and Morty. So they have these episodes where they watch TV shows from other dimensions or parallel universes. And there's this one show called Baby Feet, where one of the detectives is a regular sized man from his head to his what's it called
Waistline.
waist, and then his feet are baby feet, just like Deadpool was. But the funny part is that the guy runs like a baby, and when he runs like a baby, he says goo goo gaga bullshit stuff like a baby. But it was the funniest thing because he looks exactly like baby feet in that movie. I was like, oh my God, this is like a Rick and Morty thing.
Do you think it was an ode to Rick and Morty?
It might have been, but then again, if you think about the
I don't
tiny
think
end,
so.
I don't think so. I think I'm reaching here, but it's
Yeah.
nice to see it. I always wondered what that looked like in real life.
Just doesn't
Fantastic.
look right. It doesn't look right.
I'll just tell you this: did not expect to see baby dick.
Yeah, that little they like flash it at you for a
It was
second.
a split second. but
I'm
it
just
was
like-
there.
I could have done it. Could have watched the entire movie without the
See, I feel like
DVD.
they did that because they were like, oh yeah, we're not gonna really show it, and then they were just like, let's just fuck with them and just actually like animate this. And then
What did he have? He had a regular sized ball sack.
You just had a baby dick.
That was just what?
It
Why?
was still regrowing.
Yeah, the tiny hand thing was.
His balls
Gold.
had to drop again.
I don't know. I don't. Man, I could have done without that, for sure.
Okay, so also going back to the plot with the kid, I think the kid's just funny because he's really like, he's like when we were growing up and playing Modern Warfare and the little kids play Modern Warfare. He's like that kid.
Yeah,
But he got superpowers, and then I'm just like, okay, little kid.
definitely more likely to curse you out for sure. I love their dynamic. I think that. Oh, and can we just talk about the characters a little bit? Like the
Go
people
ahead.
from the team.
Yeah.
The kid is great. The kid is he's part of the team now. I think their dynamic is amazing because he doesn't give a shit who Deadpool is.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, I just know who you are and like whatever. All right, I'm gonna be myself around you. What's her name? Loved her, and I was telling you she's the love interest in Atlanta. She's Donald Glover's wife.
Lucky girl, Dom.
Domino.
Yeah,
Domino.
Domino. I am in love with that actress. She was sexy as hell,
I like the Terry
and
Crews
she
cameo.
killed it. Terry Crews cameo, funny. Brad Pitt cameo,
That was another
amazing.
surprising thing. When
Right?
he built
Yeah.
up the team and they all just died.
Yeah, they all just die, and I'm just. It's great, and he goes back to save like the dad. I think. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Peter.
I saw
Peter?
it coming, but then I was like, I hope he's not doing that.
Oh,
And he just
Vanish!
killed
Good
everybody.
idea. Good time. Like good thing. Vanish being Brad Pitt. That's just too funny.
Yeah, I didn't care that the alien guy died.
Oh, the alien.
I
guy.
wanted him to die.
Super, whatever.
Yeah,
his name
super,
is.
Yeah.
super,
Star or something.
super something.
When he started hiring everybody, I was like, yeah, this guy.
The
He's gonna
girl.
kill
The
them
girl
all.
was funny.
Yeah,
She's just insanely lucky. I think when they were talking about the whole power things, like being lucky can't be a power. I'm just like, it looks cool though.
yeah. I didn't know about her either.
I don't know if she's like an actual. Is she an actual?
She is. She is.
Okay.
Yeah, she is.
She's part of
I
the
yeah, I
X-Men
didn't
universe.
know about her. I had to look it up. She did great.
Yeah, that's
I love
that's
her
amazing.
character a lot. Yeah,
Can you live forever with good luck?
I don't think so.
You're so
think-
lucky that you escaped death.
I think you'll die right before the world goes to shit.
I guess. Yeah.
I think that's the luck right there.
Yeah. I guess if it's lucky to be dead, than alive, then
Yeah.
that's funny.
By the way, every single person who died when she was fighting, she didn't kill. So even if the cops showed up, she wouldn't have gone for murder.
She's just lucky.
Yeah.
When people try to shoot her, just
Nothing.
some
It doesn't work.
Gun jams.
I wish that's how my life worked. That would have been great. That's the best superpower.
You walk down the street of like New York on a busy day,
Uh-huh.
across the light. They all just avoid you.
She didn't even look at the
Yeah, she
red
didn't
light.
look at
She
anything.
was just walking.
They were in New York, right?
I think so.
It's always New York.
It's either New York. Well, a lot of the stuff that happens in the Marvel universe happens in New York City
yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
the city, but also because a lot of the comic book writers
Used to live in New York.
they used to live in New York. Also, they used to shoot a lot of movies in New York until they moved
The
to
original
Hollywood. Yeah. Well, because look at the city. It's beautiful, right?
There's a lot of things in New York. That,
Yeah.
that become
They moved to the West Coast because the weather is nice all the time.
interesting.
But yeah, anything else that kind of remarkable for you that you just were like, oh, I couldn't get past this when you were watching Deadpool.
I was kind of hoping that, like, in the end of the movie, he would kind of fade to ash. Spoilers, Infinity War style.
Oh,
It'd be like, oh,
yeah.
shit,
that'd be
we're in
amazing.
this universe.
That'd be so funny if they like reference that.
I see. I don't even know if they're going to acknowledge that he's in the universe.
How? Okay.
I think he's more on the X-Men side.
c-
who
they're not
are
in the
the-
same universe.
They're not in the
Yeah.
same universe.
It's just like as a joke.
The
Yeah.
only technically the only person that's ever from the X-Men that joined the Avengers, it's like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine is like super important. I believe in like everything. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Wolverine
Yeah.
has fought the Hulk before, correct?
Wolverine been everywhere.
right? He does.
He fights the Hulk. Yeah.
He fights the Hulk. He's not Wolverine.
My
Isn't
keys
the
were here.
Wolverine is not the only character to have been separated. I didn't know Deadpool got like the way he got literally teared
You
in
mean
half.
torn in half?
Yeah, he got torn out in half. I know that happened to Wolverine before. Unless I am wrong, completely wrong.
I
In the
don't.
movie?
No, not the movies.
Or
I think in the comic books.
I remember our friend Justin mentioning how there was a way that like he mentioned a comic book series that's called Deadpool Kills Everyone.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys ever heard it, but he mentioned this is where you might have heard it from Justin. He was saying how for Wolverine how Deadpool killed him in that thing was he like ripped him into pieces and like put all of his body parts underwater, continually drowning in the ocean somewhere. I don't know if you were thinking of that.
Maybe. I have to look.
I
do some
thought that
more
was very
digging.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, because for these guys, right, it's really hard to kill them.
Yeah,
So.
they're all, you know.
I actually thought that when
Mortal.
when that happened to him, they would have just put him back together, and then
And it
he
would
would
just
have.
heal up.
Yeah,
Just
that would have
duct tape
been
them.
that would have
Just
been
duct tape.
easier than growing a whole new bottom.
Bottom half.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same
Wait, but you know what? That means he could grow. He could cut his entire body except for his head, and then just grow a whole new body, and
I
the whole
mean-
body wouldn't be
I mean, did you-
scarred anymore.
the intro.
In the beginning of the
yeah.
movie, he blew himself up. Like all his body parts were spread
Yeah.
around, including his head. So.
So yeah, and then the Russian guy just got all of his body parts back together and
Yeah.
bing bang boom. That's what I'm guessing.
So his bottom half must be clean now. No more scars.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good.
That would be a good question.
Yeah, that'd be a good question. I'm sure it's somewhere on
Marvel
the
experts?
wiki place.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not
on this.
experts. And I only read Batman, so
Batman. I'm Batman.
yeah, just
DC.
because he's a detective, and I love. Yeah,
I read some Spider-Man comics when I was a kid, and that's as far. I really like Spider-Man, so
Mhm.
that's about as far as I went with the Marvel universe. But X-Men wise, I only know about some of like the cartoon show, which was good. It's just I never got to see it all the time when it like was on air.
Mhm.
Other than that,
Yeah, but overall,
No, go ahead.
we're good. We're good?
Yeah, we're good. I'm paranoid now since of what happened yesterday.
don't worry. I'm keeping.
Yeah, I
track.
know
We
you got the
We have
time.
8 minutes.
It's just a
We have to
reflex.
time ourselves
Yeah,
now.
overall, I think I'd give it like a 9 out of 10 or something.
Yeah?
Like that. What about
9
you?
out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow. For me, I'd give it like an 8, 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'd give it 8.5.
I don't know. It's good. It's definitely I'll go higher with 8.5 because I think it's good. I mean, obviously, it's just, I feel like they could do better, obviously, but at the same time, it's really good.
I'm just doing that so that if in the future they do better, I can be like, okay, yeah, I give you like a
Yeah.
9.5 or a 10.
Yeah.
If I give you a 10 now, where am I gonna grade? If you do something better, how am I supposed to grade that?
11.
Maybe they're all really good.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? Then I'll go back on my decision. But right now, I think 8.5 is great. 8.5 is it's fantastic. Honestly, that's all you need.
Yeah.
I guess since I just want to make sure we kind of make this conclusion nice. Would you say that this Deadpool is better than the first one, in your opinion, and why?
I already answered that.
No, you didn't.
No, he did. He did.
Did he really?
I said I think it's better because this Deadpool sets up a lot more that they can do in the future with this franchise.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. That is correct. Yeah, that's honestly
Like with X-Men, with Cable.
okay.
I-
So let me
no.
ask you this: how many more do you think they'll do? How many more until you're tired of Deadpool?
I don't know. If they keep it fresh, then I don't think I can be tired
You can,
of it.
but you can only do so much. I feel like with the Fast and Furious franchise, I know they keep making
mean,
money,
there's
but
like
I can't watch.
18 Marvel movies, and
Yeah,
I still go out and watch.
yeah, but
every
they're
single
different,
one.
right? It's not all. So it's not all Iron Man,
Yeah, but it's all kind of similar.
right? It is. Yeah, we have watched the hero's journey a couple of times already. This
But
one was different.
This one definitely is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? How do you feel about it? And like, do you think it's better than the first one?
I like the first one for what it did. I think this one refines it better.
So
What the first one goes out for.
same recipe, better result.
Yeah, I feel like the first one is kind of like, let's see how much we can touch. And then this one is like, let's see how much we can go all out with this. And
Yeah.
then the next one's going to be a different medium of some sort.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
How about you?
I'm still thinking about this whole, is this better than the first one? The first one I'm completely in love with because it's the first
When
one.
I think about first movies, it's more about, I feel like it's usually the best only because it introduces something. It's like the first time we see anything of its kind
Mhm.
in a way. And
Sequels are like just more of that.
sequels are either more of that or they make themselves better or they try to do it better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Deadpool 2 does a good job of that because if you think about it, for me anyways, I always feel like the first one's good. First one's always good, and the second one is always usually the lackluster one, and the third one's great.
Give me an example.
Let me try to think. I would say I can only relate it to a video game franchise. I mean, if I want to think about it, I would say like Jak and Daxter. If anyone knows what that is, it's a game from Naughty Dog. I think the first one's great. The second one is like a big jump and then something new. I guess it's not fair because I played all three, but it's just that I think the second one was good, but the third one made everything about the second one totally better. I don't know if that's relatable.
Here, I'll give you an example that's
The-
not that.
That's not that. There you go.
Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed 1 was, a solid game.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin's Creed 2 was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We're skipping Brotherhood and Revelations. But Assassin's Creed 3 is terrible.
So you think? What do you think?
You think they get worse over time? I think it depends, but yeah, there's a general,
Yeah.
trend
I feel
with
like
all
it
of
depends.
these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but from what I think, I always think the second one is usually, and the third one's like great.
We'd have to
But
think
then
about that.
But then now that I'm thinking about it, I think of Iron Man right now.
That's what I was thinking,
The third
like-
one sucked.
Iron Man.
The
How is
second and
Iron
third
Man?
one were meh.
Iron Man 2 was forgettable.
It started the decline.
Iron Man 2 was forgettable.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3, I don't remember either. Was forgettable as well. Also, I think, honestly, the first Avenger movies, they're Iron Man movies, to me.
I think the first Avengers was the best Avengers for now because I
think the one that just ended was the best Avengers.
Yeah, I think Infinity War is the best.
Yeah.
Infinity War is the best.
Yeah.
in my
I feel like
opinion.
I'm torn because I feel like the first
10-year
one.
project.
It is a 10-year project.
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that this one, there's actually, it's not just like, this is bad. You know when we talk about, I know I
Yeah.
talk about Rick and Morty a lot in this episode,
Yes.
but the whole thing about Rick and Morty is like when they poke fun at superheroes is this idea that like there's only one, it's black and white. Evil is evil and we're the good guys and we fight this one thing that is evil. And I think with this last one, they presented different perspectives and why people do what they do, and the motivations make things great. They don't
Things
just
are always in the gray.
they don't give you a black and white. And I think in the previous ones, the Avengers were doing a bunch of crazy shit to the cities and places they lived for the sake of we're saving the people and we're fighting evil. But if we present evil in this one way, we can justify all of this stuff that we've done that's not always good. In this one, they're losing, obviously. We know the second one that's coming out is going to be the other half. But, like, in this one, I think there's more character growth because they're losing. Like, there's definitely something to be learned about just losing in general. But also that Thanos it's not all the way wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to make those tough calls. How are we supposed to make it in this universe? If we keep fucking and multiplying, eventually there won't be enough space for all of us,
You
right?
know what? it kind of reminds me of?
What?
Mass Effect.
It does remember me of Mass Effect. It really does.
The cycle.
Mass Effect is a masterpiece. Anywho, we only have about 40 seconds left. So
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about Solo at all.
we'll talk about Solo in the next segment. We're just going to take a little break.
It was pretty good.
So, yeah. Deadpool, good all around for us.
Yeah,
Deadpool
you
2.
definitely should go out and watch it if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. We definitely watched it later than most.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Let's
We'll
take
be right. Welcome back from our intermission, and we're gonna talk about Solo now.
Yes.
The second movie we watched today.
Right.
First, I just want to ask. It's very not ask, but just state. It's very tiring to watch two movies in the same day.
Yeah, in the theaters.
Well, it doesn't help that we drove to like 3 different ones.
What's
But-
the difference, by the way, between watching 2 movies at a movie theater and watching 2 movies in the comfort of your own home on Netflix?
I'm not too sure. For me.
Well, you can, like in your own home, you can kind of comfort yourself the way you want to.
Right.
But in the theater, you're kind of there's a limit on how far you can go
True.
through like laying down. And
Yeah.
you know,
I can't scratch my nuts in public.
Definitely in Deadpool, I was very comfortable.
for sure. That's our first choice for the theater from now on.
For now on, we are going.
Yeah,
to
we're
that
going to that.
theater.
Never going to the
We will
lowest
not.
theater.
We will not name the first theater. Thank God, it was very cheap.
Well, here's the deal. I know he said we shouldn't. I think the location matters. It's not that Lowe's is a terrible place to be
Right.
at the
We should
movies
have
at.
mentioned
It's
it.
the management of that specific place
It's
Yes.
the one we went to that's just
that
terrible.
that has terrible
like
management.
it literally hasn't changed in 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
Me and John have lived here for as long as I don't know. I was here since middle school. I don't know how long you've been in the area, but it's just that in the beginning it was such a high all quality low cinema that I remember the first time I went back with Ellie since for I don't know 7 years. I thought it would be
I
great.
had my first movie date there, by the way.
Wasn't it better back then?
That was what 4 years ago that I went.
Was it better back then?
It was clean. Yes, absolutely.
I don't know what happened within those years, but it used to be really clean, and I thought they updated it since then because I thought all Lowe's or AMC's started getting these reclining seats that
Mhm.
most movie theaters here get now. And when we sat in there, there's stains on all of
But
the
it's
chairs.
not like a regular stain. Like it's not your regular stain that's staying in the fabric. It's goo, dried goo on the freaking fabric. You don't know what the hell it is.
See, the first time I sat there, I turned to Ellie. I said at the end of the movie, I said, "I think I have AIDS now." It was so uncleanly. My shoes were just sticky.
We
They-
changed rows 4 times.
Today we did going to that movie theater when
We
we
did it
sat
last
down.
time too.
We did do it last time.
all right, so enough about the movie.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, I was
Solo.
gonna say.
Solo.
Let's bring it back to
Solo.
Solo. Did we ramble on the 3 minutes about the movie theater?
I'm sorry, I just had to.
All right, first impressions of the movie Solo: A Star Wars Story.
It was very good.
Very good. A lot better than I expected.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
I just like the characters. I just like Solo. I also like how the dynamic of seeing Han Solo and Chewie working together.
Yeah.
I just like that dynamic.
I like the how they met.
Considering that Han Solo was probably my favorite character from the Star Wars series,
Mm-hmm.
I always thought he was the coolest, mainly because he was Indiana Jones, but also he was just like a badass space cowboy, pretty much.
So
Think about it.
my favorite part in the movie is when they dropped Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Like, did not see that.
That was man.
For some reason, I thought it would be they're dropping Snoke because he's sitting on this. I thought he was sitting on a throne or
Well,
something.
this is before.
Yeah, this is before.
This is before New Hope.
But
yeah,
you know,
but
sorry, not to
I
interrupt.
think it would be like Vader or.
Yeah.
Go on.
Darth Maul in this one, for me, that was sick. First
Yeah,
of all,
that-
right?
Yeah.
He lived through that.
Getting chopped in half.
I mean, if you think about when Darth Vader comes into the equation, right?
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm my head is spinning right now because my mind blown
What's going on?
by the whole thing. It's just he's so good. Like just that he was there for that. I would love to see him in like another story, just fighting for a few
I was
minutes.
hoping they would make like a Solo 2, you know, but
They can't make a solo.
I mean,
too.
they can't.
Yeah.
They're not going to. But I mean, just seeing Darth Maul, I was like, man, I want them to like, I want them to connect everything.
Them dropping Darth Maul makes me think there might be a Darth Maul movie in the works.
But you know, that would not be cool, because we've been dying to see a Yoda origin story.
right?
All right, if they make a
Yes.
Yoda origin story, it'll be top for the year.
Now, there's rumors on that. There's rumors on.
There've been
a
rumors on that.
There's rumors on like everything.
Yeah.
Star Wars. But there's the rumors on Yoda movie. There's rumors on like a Kenobi movie.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors on a Darth Maul movie.
Well, they're definitely gonna do.
I would like
or the-
Kenobi
yeah,
actually too.
for sure. They're definitely gonna do that. I don't know. I think for the Yoda thing, there's got to be like a campaign or something, because I don't think they think he's that much of a big deal, even though he is. You know.
Yeah.
But I would love to know. Just because he said things like, I've been on the other side.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to know what that means.
He's been everywhere, I would imagine. I don't know I forgot how old he is, but he's extremely old.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Extremely old.
Chewie was 109, right?
109.
109 when he
190 at that
sorry,
age.
when he met
Han
Solo,
Yeah.
which is sick to
I'm
me.
wondering. I never really looked it up. I'm wondering what is old as Wookiee age.
I don't know, like we're not Star Wars experts.
Yeah, we're not.
No, we're
not
not.
Star Wars experts.
We watched.
What's the average?
I
life
liked.
expectancy
Yeah,
for
what
Wookiee?
is the life? What is the average? I'm not like a huge.
We watched We watched every movie that the Star Wars universe had to offer. We just aren't those people. We know like.
We don't really take that
everything.
like extra step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No further.
I think it was cool. Honestly, to me, when I watched Star Wars, like the first 3 movies, for me it was on the same level as Neverending Story. I had the same feeling for those movies as I have as Neverending Story. The only difference is Neverending Story isn't gonna get a prequel. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you knew what the Neverending Story is about.
No.
It's actually pretty cool, but we're not gonna go into that tangent.
John, I want to ask you a question, only because it's funny enough that me and Eliaka, we have never seen the last the Last Jedi. We've just been too lazy to watch it. One of my friends said he liked this movie more than The Last Jedi. What do you think?
Yeah.
You do? You like this?
It's not even about liking. It's just a better movie.
Right.
Really?
Like there's just no competition. Like this movie, it kind of to me felt like Guardians of the Galaxy a bit.
Mm.
But also, this should have been what they started out with the Star Wars stories, because
Yeah.
after watching this,
Yeah.
the other one that they put out,
What was it called?
Rogue One.
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One,
Yeah, Rogue One compared to this was like, Rogue One like just on his own is
It's good.
Pretty
because
good
of the
movie.
way that they
It's a
did
Star
it.
Wars
compared to-
story, but
compared to this, it's like
I think the way they did Rogue One, we kind of didn't care about the characters.
yeah, 'cause- yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
no heartstring pulls or whatever when they died. I was like, all right,
for this one, it's characters that you cared about from the original series, and it's super interesting to see like what they were like X amount of years ago.
yeah. But also, you guys saw the redemption by the director. He shot first.
Yes.
He did shoot first.
Yes.
He did.
Not only that, he was the only one to
To
shoot.
shoot.
Yeah,
That was the lesson.
That's
it was the
Yeah.
lesson.
That was the lesson.
So he did shoot. I guess that verifies that he did shoot first.
Yes, but
he's the only one to
do you know
shoot.
the reason why the people in the community are so obsessed with the fact that he shot first is because that establishes who he is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you based on which one you like, if you like the Solo that shot second, he's a softer Han Solo. The Solo that shot first is a badass motherfucker.
I mean, he said it himself in this movie. He's an outlaw.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
an outlaw.
You know what I mean? So I feel like if he's the guy we shot first, that's this guy in the making.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's becoming tougher. Okay, well, he doesn't really trust anyone. You know, the only woman he trusted bounced.
I feel
At
like
the
that's
end of the movie.
I feel like
Yeah.
for him, that's like the time where it just all clicked for him. He's like, okay, this is not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like a.
He doesn't really know her.
Yeah, he doesn't really know her, and
Because he used to be a really hopeful guy.
but
right?
now it kind of broke him in a way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It broke him.
She didn't but the thing is, she didn't flat out say get the fuck out.
She said it in a. I feel like they both knew what was happening in a
She
way.
just used them to get ahead.
She just used him to get ahead, and
Yeah.
she's part of Darth Maul's crew.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but also I was wondering how they were gonna get rid of her. I was wondering if she was gonna die
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like that's why the Darth Maul thing was super surprising. That we didn't know. She just stood there, and then we're just wondering, oh, what is she gonna do? Is she actually gonna grab the money and run? What has she done in the past? No, she's talking to fucking Darth Maul. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It's and they hear that, oh, now you're gonna be part of my crew. I'm gonna have to watch you more closely. It's just she obviously cares for Solo.
For sure. Oh, but you know what I was thinking?
What?
Darth Maul. Okay. This is the thing that for me, I don't know if he adds up, and maybe I'm like, since we've been up for a long time, maybe I'm not adding this right. Darth Maul was present in the prequels.
Yeah, only episode 1.
Episode
Episode
1.
1.
He dies.
He
Mhm.
dies
He dies
in episode 1. Hold on. He dies in episode 1.
Yes.
Darth Vader, well, what's his name?
Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker survives, goes through whatever, he's growing pains, becomes Darth Vader.
Yes. At
His-
the end of 3.
Wife gives birth to Luke and Leia.
Yes.
And then later, what's it called? Has a child. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
No.
No, I don't know
Not
where
at
you're
all.
going with this.
All right. Episode 1
Yes.
picks up with Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
New Hope.
New
Picks
Hope.
up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Luke
Luke
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Yes.
Child of Darth Vader,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
who is
Anakin Skywalker.
who fought Darth Maul.
He didn't fight him.
He didn't fight him, but in the prequels,
Yes.
how old was he?
In episode 1?
Well, when they were fighting Darth Maul.
Episode 2.
Episode 5, I guess. What episode is that?
Are we?
What are you talking
Sorry,
about?
sorry. I'm like dying right now, and I can't think
Okay,
properly.
here I'll
All
explain.
right, in the prequels,
Yes.
Yes.
With
Uh,
Anakin
with
Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker, who is Darth Vader,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Who is Darth Maul?
Yes.
Sorry. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
I don't know what's going on with
I
me
just
today.
I just screwed up a fact that I answered before.
Yeah.
In the first.
What I'm trying to say is this guy is supposed to be dead already.
This is okay. Interesting. Hold that thought because I'm just gonna mention this right now.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. But
No.
the cartoon series. Do you remember this? The cartoon series is canon. Darth Maul is alive in the cartoon series. He's rebuilt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, so you're saying that he's supposed to be dead?
But they
but he's-
showed him
Okay.
in this
yeah,
one.
They
Yes.
brought him back. That's why, like, he's.
Because
That's why-
the reason why I'm having
Yeah.
trouble
He
is
kind of has
because
this metal thing. If you look
Yeah.
at him,
Yeah.
he has this metal thing on his torso, and when he stands up, you can kind of hear like this mechanical
Okay.
noise.
Yes.
that's what the reason
Yeah.
why my mind was blown a little bit is because I was trying to piece together the
to watch-
timelines.
You should watch the cartoon
Clone
series.
Wars.
It's amazing.
It's a lot. And
It's a lot, but it's amazing. You're gonna
I
keep
didn't
watching
have
it.
time because I had
You're gonna
soccer.
have time.
But do you understand what I was trying to say?
Yeah.
The reason why I was having such a hard time is because I was trying to piece together the timeline.
That's why I was so confused.
And
when
I
you were
was just
saying-
like, what is going on? Why is this guy alive right now?
yeah. I was
For
about to
people
say,
that like have watched it,
You know what I mean?
he is alive.
He is alive. Okay.
He is alive.
I didn't watch the cartoons.
Okay.
I didn't have time, Josh.
He is alive, but I think he like vanishes or dies at some point.
Yeah. Well, the death itself is ambiguous anyway.
I guess,
in the
yeah.
Star Wars universe.
In the Star Wars
Yeah, in the
universe,
Star
yeah.
Wars universe.
So
But he is alive and well, and that's why he has like that robotic thing. Which is why it's also very surprising to see that, considering that they just added that in, kind of. So if you watched, the cartoon series, you kind of rewarded in a way.
yeah.
It's cool.
Okay, so that was your favorite part of the entire thing.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, hold up.
It's hard to say for me.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
Back to when I was talking about how this is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, right. Go ahead.
my like the biggest kind of hint I got at that was when they were robbing the train.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the original pilot, Rio was his name or something, the four-legged guy.
mm-hmm.
He's a lot like Rocket.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to
Like,
say
that's,
this.
That's what I got.
I-
He's
I-
a lot like Rocket.
yeah.
I was
Except
so mad that they died, but at the same
Yeah.
time. Because he's a really good character.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
love to know more about
That's probably
that.
like favorite.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
One
cool
of my
to
favorite
see.
parts as well.
It's kind of cool to see like, kind of like the Han Solo before like his mentor in a way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how he became who he is,
Yeah.
and who taught him like how to be the cool.
But also,
gunslinging dude.
you see the dynamic between him and Lando and
yeah.
Lando, sorry,
Yeah,
and
he meets
you.
Lando first time in this.
By the way, Donald Glover does a great job.
Oh my god!
Donald Glover does a amazing. Me and Ellie,
But you
love
know,
Donald Glover.
he's cool. All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm striving to be like Donald Glover. All right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. This is how cool this guy is because he literally portrayed the character so well that even when he was disheveled, you were like, oh man, like Lando was really like on his ass right now.
yeah.
You know, that was cool to me. That was like, oh, he did such a good job that I was like, oh, I'm buying it in. Like this is him. You know what I
It
mean?
is. It's him. He does such a good job,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I gotta give credit to. I just gotta say Donald Glover, just being pure like diehard fan of him.
Yeah.
He does such a good job.
There's another scene like in the beginning when his name's Beckett, right? Tobias Beckett,
Oh,
Han's mentor.
Yeah.
Tobias.
Like they were kind of pretending to be like Imperial soldiers.
Yeah.
You know how he's like spinning his guns around and
Yeah.
whatever? I was gonna say to you, hey, it's Revolver Ocelot.
It is a revolver
It's
ocelot.
what I got from that, but
It was funny.
That what's it
The
called?
gunslinging.
The gunslinging thing
Yeah.
was pretty cool for me.
He honestly, that actor, I don't know his name. Do you know his name?
I always forget his name. name.
He kind of plays the same character in Guardians of the
Zombie?
Galaxy. He's the blue guy. You know that, right?
No.
He is the blue guy.
No way.
That's him.
What? Hold on.
He's the blue guy.
Do you know
in-
what I'm talking about? That's not him.
That is him.
Hold on.
yeah, like I know what you're talking about, and I'm thinking about it, and I feel like it's two different people.
It's
Are
two
you
different.
serious?
Yeah. This is Michael Rooker.
Oh wait,
Yes.
you are right.
Yeah.
He's this guy's the guy from Zombieland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
Why was I thinking that?
Yeah, because this
They
guy,
do look kind of similar.
Yeah,
They
he
do kinda-
does
honest.
do the
Yeah.
same character though everywhere.
I mix up white people all the time. I'm sorry.
What's his name again? Always forget his name.
I
I
don't
like
remember.
him. What was that?
I don't remember.
You
It was in Zombieland. He was in like
What else was
do,
he in?
Do You See Me or whatever that magic movie.
He was in that.
Now You
movie.
See Me.
Now you see me.
Hold on.
What? I feel like he plays like another action role.
Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
Okay, that guy is the only typecast, the only person we can play the same character over and over again. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I like any character he plays.
even though it's kind of the same person.
yeah.
I don't mind that. Him and Jesse Eisenberg. Just because he did the what's it called, the Social Network, and I love that movie.
I would love to see. I mean, I would love to see something. I don't know. I just thought about this. I would love to see Harrison Ford watch this movie and see what he thinks.
Speaking of which, how do you think that he plays into the
Han-
character of
Han Solo.
kind of like pretty much of what we already know of Han Solo.
I think that actor does a really good job. Is he known in any other movies? Do you guys? This actor.
I know he's
I
done
thought-
work before. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know
me
what
either.
it is either, but I feel like he does a really good job playing the part.
Yeah.
I feel like he does a good job of portraying the young Han Solo, falling into the part of the Han Solo we know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
kind of being directed in that path. He does a
Right.
very good job.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is how you know he's not huge in terms of like stardom, is because the entire time they were doing promotion, the person they're looking at to carry the movie is
Yeah.
Donald Glover.
It is Donald Glover, but Donald Glover is only such like a slight. He's just a slice of this,
yeah.
this movie. Seeing all these other actors just like do their best and be like the center of attention, and they all do very well. And I like the fact that we see these characters that we want to know more about.
Yeah.
You know, like what we mentioned, like the pilot and that whole crew
Yeah.
and how they became a thing. It's just really cool to see all of
They
that.
do a good job having characters that we care about. That's why Rogue One was not that good for me.
Rogue One was kind
It's
of
because a lot of the characters were forgettable at best.
Rogue One. I feel like Rogue One definitely connects the dots though more. Like how did they get the plans for Leia to have the plans? And,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then how Darth Vader was like, oh, okay, I know where they are to get these plans. I feel like that it does a good job.
It
of
was
that.
like, okay, well, let's tie up loose ends on this one.
yeah,
That's
Pretty
about
much,
it.
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
And get our investors bonuses for Christmas.
yeah,
You know,
And sticking to release a Star Wars movie
every single year. Yeah.
I do like the robot from Rogue One. Robot's cool.
K2SO.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
Yeah.
L3.
I also like the robot L3.
L3.
L3 was great.
She's so sassy. I love her.
L3 was great,
The
and she was just
droids
like the whole
are great in
droid
Star
freedom.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, oh, it was cool that they uploaded her brain to the Millennium Falcon. Wow. I'm having
Millennium
trouble today.
I love how we now know.
Speaking.
Wait, what?
I'm having trouble speaking today. But
Oh.
yeah,
I
go
like-
ahead.
How the original Millennium Falcon we see in this is different from what we know.
Yes.
And how it got to what we
Yes.
know.
Absolutely.
It is very interesting to see that. I also like to see how the actual world record of the 12 parsecs through. At
Kessel
first,
Run in 12 parts.
yeah. At first, we were just like, "Oh, they just made that up in the
Uh-huh.
script."
Yeah.
Now we see it. You know, it's kind of cool
Yeah.
Yeah.
to see how it happens, and they fight this maw thing, this kraken in the middle of space.
I was like, is that a what the what?
It's
How
a
is it
Reaper, Josh.
It's a reaper, an alive reaper.
Oh, so the Leviathan.
Shepard, the reapers are coming. I'm on it. I gotta go.
I should go.
I
Like,
should go.
what is a giant octopus doing in the middle of the?
You should play Mass Effect, Ellie.
Maybe I
You would
should.
enjoy.
I mean, in
You've been
original,
trying
original Star Wars when they landed on that like asteroid, there was a
Mhm.
giant worm in it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there is that giant worm.
I mean, you've been trying to get me to play Mass Effect for a while
Mass
too.
Effect's great.
Mass Effect is really. If you like Star Wars, and no, I don't know how to compare them. They're just in space, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about
That's
it.
the thing. It is very similar to Star Wars because it is BioWare, and
Mhm.
BioWare made the KOTOR games beforehand,
Mhm.
like Knights of the Old Republic.
yeah,
So
they're
I
responsible.
love.
they kinda
I
know
have
how to
played
do-
the Old Republic.
Sadly, the
by the
Bioware we
way.
know today is not the same.
Yeah.
It's a disappointment. I see. Honestly, we'll save that for another time. I wanted to talk about Andromeda for some reason, but
Another episode.
another
A
episode.
Yeah.
gaming episode.
Me and John should do gaming episodes.
I just
sometime.
want. There's something else I wanted to mention about Solo. Oh, so something I like about the Star Wars movies in general, right, is the fact that a Star Wars movie is different than every other movie. It's not just the music, right? It's not just the costumes. There's just something about the movies,
There was also no scrolling text in the beginning of this one.
which is good, right? They just told you
They just
Oh,
had like text
Galaxy
just
far,
telling
far
you
away.
stuff. Yeah,
this is,
This is the planet.
you know
he's
what I
on,
mean?
What's
blah, blah, blah,
happening?
blah, this-
Yeah,
Here you go.
It's every man for himself. Go.
Yeah, I feel like they had to do that because there's too much content to show, so they can't waste their time with.
There's also like I don't know how like what they can tell through scrolling text
yeah.
in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest,
I
True,
feel
that's true.
like they did that
because
honestly.
you don't need like the Empire backstory.
Yeah, but
or
also-
whatever.
They do that usually when they're setting up a scene, right?
I feel like they do that to set up where they are and explain. Because if you think about the first movie, it's like, what the fuck? Why
Well,
are we here?
That's the thing with it. Like with the Star Wars movies, there's always like a time skip between
Yeah.
each movie.
Yeah.
So they kind of just use that to catch you up on.
Yeah. But I think every time they do the scrolling, whatever thing, they set up because every Star Wars movie kind of starts abruptly. Have you realized that?
Yeah, that's the time skip he was.
Yeah.
saying,
Like it starts in the middle of something. Something's happening. Somebody's being chased.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Actually, somebody's always being
It
chased.
starts at a
I'm-
very critical point in the story.
Yeah.
That like the first ever Star Wars thing. It starts in the middle.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is
that's
pretty
how George
cool.
Lucas did his thing.
Yeah. He's definitely a good storyteller. I was thinking while we were watching the movie, I was like, we're going to find out 10 years down the line that he wrote everything.
He had this
He
whole
secretly-
plan.
Yeah. He just didn't want people to know so
everything.
they wouldn't bash him. See how nobody's complaining about it the way they were before. They're still
Yeah.
going to be snobs, all right? But
Yeah.
I think this one is nobody's complaining quite much. Like also kids don't care as much as we used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that.
I'm just enjoying the ride with whatever they have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact
But,
that they rebooted the whole Star Wars thing was just awesome for me. So
yeah, we're definitely gonna find out he wrote everything.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah.
How would you rate this movie? I don't know. No, I wouldn't say anything towards like all of the Star Wars movies because that's just hard to do. Because there's too many.
It's very different.
It's very
as
different.
well.
It's very different.
How would you rate it as a movie?
Oh, out of 10, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably give it like an 8.5.
I'd give it a 9 for this one.
I'd give it an 8.7 because it was better
He's
than
getting
Rogue
so
One.
precise.
Not to say it was better than Deadpool. I would say it was better than Rogue One,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it was a little bit of an unusual. Okay, so we have to
Sorry
wrap
about
up soon.
that.
But it was a little bit of an unusual hero's journey,
It was.
which is good.
I thought it was a bit more of a lighthearted story than most other Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
I feel this is what I feel. I feel like it's a lot more Disney-esque. If you catch,
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys feel that because I heard that's what happened to The Last Jedi. It feels very Disney at this point.
yeah. This one, okay. So people die in this one,
Yeah.
They die,
but they don't. When they die, you're like, oh, okay.
kinda.
I mean, even the characters are like, oh, okay.
Even when he killed his mentor,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't that heavy, and I wanted it to be heavier.
That's why I feel like it feels probably more Disney.
I actually was hoping that the guy that she killed would wake up and kill her.
Paul Bettany?
Yeah.
Vision?
And then be like, hey.
Vision. Vision.
Yeah, Vision. Yes.
Oh
And
my
be
God,
like,
the Star Wars, the Marvel movies. Oh, Disney is ruining everything.
But if he did that, then, he would seek revenge and that wouldn't be a story. I just wish she was,
Yeah.
they made her out to be more evil. I don't know.
All right, guys, I think we're going to have to cut this out because it's about to be 28 minutes, which is where everything usually cuts out for these cameras.
Okay. Well, we're going to end the movie.
We recommend it. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, please go watch Solo.
Great
It's
movie.
a really, really good movie if you haven't watched it already.
Do not bootleg it.
Uh,
Yeah.
do whatever you want, man. These guys make enough money.
All right.
But yeah,
Yeah, we
so-
hope you enjoyed.
yeah. And this kind of concludes this week's episode, right?
Yeah.
Should be, yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sticking with us. If you have for this long, that means you actually enjoyed the content we're putting out. If not, we'll work harder next week to make it better.
Please leave some comments and suggestions on how we could improve the show, what you guys want
Or
to see.
anything that you'd like us to talk about.
Topics, yeah. Topics would be great.
Yeah. Although this is the first video, I hope. I mean, I don't know if anybody leaves comments. That means it'd be really
Hey, I don't
cool.
care if it's from friends, family, or anything.
It can only get better.
We can only get better. Also, if nobody watches this, I don't care.
We'll watch it.
Yeah,
We'll
watch it.
We'll comment on our own video.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
Hi, Josh. Hi,
Hi,
John.
Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
Yeah, these conversations are kind of an excuse to get together anyway.
Pretty much,
So,
And to converse on what we to still talk about what we talk about all the time anyway.
Yeah.
When we're together.
except this time we
Barely.
just have better gear.
All right. Thank you for watching the the work in progress.
The what in progress?
The what in progress? The work in progress podcast. We are signing out now.
All right.
Thanks.
See you guys. On the money here.
All right. The timer.
What is wrong with you guys?
Okay. We're recording this too, aren't we? All right.
Yes.
So okay, I'm gonna count down. 3. Who's gonna clap?
It has to be Ellie since he's on both.
Oh, okay. 3, 2, 1.
Man. I feel like we're gonna be like deers in the headlight. Are you ready? Is this recording already?
It's been recording.
Okay.
We're not ready. Josh doesn't have his headphones, so he's moving. He's making a lot of noise.
When Josh is done getting wet.
I'm sorry about this. All right.
All right. You ready?
No.
Okay.
You ready? Everything
Yes,
good?
I am ready.
Mic check, mic check.
Check. All right, we're good.
Oh.
We're good. All right. I'll start counting down. 3, 2, 1.